My child, stop scrolling. I brought you here on purpose. The moment your eyes landed here, heaven leaned in. Because I, the Lord your God, have something urgent to deliver straight into your spirit. This isn't just good news. This is your confirmation. This is the moment I've orchestrated behind the scenes, through storms, through silence, through every second you thought I wasn't listening. And now, I'm speaking directly to you. Don't you dare click away. Don't treat this like another voice in a sea of noise. This word carries weight. It carries answers. It carries the turning point your soul has been begging for in secret. So listen with your heart wide open. Watch like your breakthrough depends on it, because it does. My beloved child, right now, everything around you may be swirling, demands, distractions, emotions pressing in from every angle, but I am calling for a sacred stillness in this moment. Because this isn't just another word, another line of encouragement floating past your weary eyes. This is me, your Father, your Creator, your Redeemer. And I am speaking directly to the tender places of your spirit that have longed to be seen without having to explain, to be known without having to prove. This pause is not accidental. It is divinely timed. I have arranged all of heaven's attention toward this exact second in your story. You were drawn here not by curiosity, not by routine, but by my orchestration. There is a frequency in the spirit that only your heart could detect, and it led you right here, into the middle of my voice, into the center of my presence. You've wondered if you've missed me. You've looked at other people's lives and questioned whether my goodness has passed over your address. But I tell you now, heaven has not forgotten you. I have carved this moment into the eternal timeline with your name etched in gold. It was reserved for you and only you. I did not send this word as a mass message. I sent it as a heartbeat, a personal, intentional rhythm that matches the cadence of your spirit when it weeps alone. I have watched every moment your heart broke in silence. I've stood in the shadows of your deepest questions. And now I say, lean in. Don't scroll past me. Don't treat this divine whisper like just another wave on the shore. Because what I am doing in you today has the power to shift more than your emotions. It has the power to reroute your destiny. This is not comfort for a moment. This is confirmation for a movement. I want you to understand something holy. You are not here by accident, and you are not hearing me by coincidence. The atmosphere around you has been stirred for days, perhaps weeks, and you didn't know why. But I've been pressing gently, waiting for your spirit to notice me again in a fresh way. That urgency you couldn't name. That sudden pull toward the unseen. That was me, breathing through your questions, whispering through your weariness. The reason I ask you to pause is because I'm not merely giving you another encouragement. I'm aligning you with the good news that has already been released. You've asked for a breakthrough. But child, what I am doing now is more than a breakthrough. It's a birthing. I'm delivering something into your life that has been growing in the unseen realms, nurtured by your faith, watered by your tears, protected by my angels while you slept through storms. Let me speak plainly. I didn't allow you to survive what you did just so you could return to normal. I preserved you for this precise moment when my glory would begin to rise from the ashes of everything you thought had ended. This isn't random. This is restoration. This is me keeping covenant, not just with your prayers, but with your bloodline, your purpose, your future. I've not forgotten the things you whispered to me when you had no strength left to believe out loud. I saw the flicker of faith remain when the fire around you tried to suffocate every last hope. I am the God who remembers. I am the God who restores. I am the God who interrupts timelines to make room for one surrendered heart. That's why you're here, That's why I'm speaking now. Because the heavens are in motion, and the good news you long for is already standing at your door. Open wide. This pause isn't empty. It's sacred. The message has arrived, and it is clothed in my glory, written in love, and sealed with the signature of the one who never left your side. Do you really think this moment is ordinary? Do you think this encounter was casually placed in your day like any other moment of inspiration? No. This is the second that was stitched into the tapestry of time before time began. I didn't permit you to stumble. I positioned you to arrive. Every breath you've taken, every seemingly meaningless step, every delay, every detour, even the heartbreaks you didn't understand, they were all part of this precise divine alignment. I know there were times you questioned whether your journey had a direction, whether your pain had a purpose, or if your prayers had become lost in the chaos. But hear me now. I never lost track of you, not for a second. While you doubted your steps, I was divinely choreographing a crescendo of convergence that leads to right here, right now. This is not a moment to take lightly. This is the precise second the heavens leaned low, and I, your God, released something that's been held in sacred suspense, just for you. And not a moment too soon. You see, I didn't just plan your destination. I authored your journey. And because I love you so fiercely, I embedded within your timeline treasures that could only be unlocked through surrender and trust. You wondered why I let the waiting linger, why the breakthrough tarried just beyond reach. It was not punishment, it was preparation. I was fortifying you to carry the weight of what I've hidden for this very hour. What I am about to release is not a trickle of encouragement. It is a torrent of fulfillment. It's not a crumb of comfort. It's a feast of glory. And this good news, this divine unveiling, is not generic. It is engraved with your name, infused with your obedience, wrapped in the fabric of your resilience. I didn't entrust this moment to anyone else, because no one else could carry what I'm placing in your spirit. Others might have reached this intersection and walked past it. What you didn't. You paused. You noticed. You stayed tender in a hardened world. And for that, I now release the blessing I've safeguarded like sacred treasure. Listen carefully, my beloved, because this is where it gets holy. There are divine deliveries that heaven wraps in silence, and others that require a trumpet blast. This one carries both. It began in the stillness, forged in secret, sealed in silence. But now it comes with a thunderous shift. It is arriving not with noise for show, but with noise that shakes foundations. I have dispatched angels to carry what I wrote in the midnight hours of your pain. What you thought would be postponed forever is now pulsing with immediacy. This encounter is your invitation to open the package. You won't need to earn it. You already endured for it. You wanted to perform for it. You were preserved for it. And I am not releasing just a blessing. I'm releasing a breakthrough that breathes. A living promise, writhing wrapped in divine velocity. Let that settle in your spirit. This good news didn't come slowly. It came suddenly, because I saw your soul was finally ready to receive what I've been holding back, not from you, but for you. So, child, hold still a little longer. The magnitude of what is shifting right now cannot be rushed. I'm aligning pieces that have lived in different eras of your life, places of brokenness and beauty, fragments of pain and portions of peace, and I'm weaving them into one seamless unveiling. The collision of your obedience with my orchestration is formed in a moment of irreversible favor. That sudden lightness in your chest isn't random. It's the pressure breaking. That holy stirring in your spirit isn't mere emotion. It's heaven announcing, you're right on time. You were never behind. You were being held back like an arrow in tension, because now is the moment I release you into target-precise fulfillment. This good news has no fine print, no loopholes, no limitations, only love. I held it until the timing was saturated with glory. And now, I hand it to you, not just as your God, but as your Father. Take it. It's yours. My beloved child, let me look into the places you've hidden. The quiet ache that lingers beneath your daily strength. The heaviness that you've learned to carry so well that even you forgot how much it still hurts. I've watched you smile while your soul sighed. I've seen you comfort others while your own spirit ached for comfort. There were nights you laid your head on the pillow and your body gave up before your heart did, too weary to cry, too numb to pray, and too unsure if anything would change. But listen to me now. Not a single tear was wasted. Not one sigh dissolved into nothing. I have kept record of every whisper, every longing, every trembling breath that hope may be, just may be. I still saw you. I did. And I do. The silence you endured was not a sign of my absence. It was the reverent hush before the release. I was not ignoring you. I was guarding something for you that the enemy could not tamper with. Heaven has not been asleep. I have been watching with divine intensity. Let me say it clearly. I saw it all. The prayers you didn't finish. The worship you offered through cracked voices and trembling hands. The faith you mustered on days when doubt was louder. When you felt like a ghost walking through your own life, unseen, unheard, misunderstood. I was right there, tracing every thought, cradling every cry. The ache in your chest became an altar, and I received it as sacred incense. And child, because you dared to keep believing, even while breaking, I now respond with power. There is a shift happening as I speak, one that reverses the silence, one that resurrects the dreams you quietly buried. What's coming next is not a token blessing, it's heaven's full response to your hidden faith. This is the season where tears turn to testimony. I will not let the weight you carried be wasted. I am responding not out of pity but out of covenant. And when I make covenant, I do not forget. This response is personal. It is intimate. I didn't delegate your breakthrough. I didn't assign an assistant to enter your egg. I came myself. And what I'm bringing with me is heavier than your heartbreak. It is soaked in the glory of fulfillment. I am healing wounds no one could see. I'm touching areas no one knew were bleeding. I'm speaking into silence that lasted for years. This is not a generic moment. It is a deeply customized miracle. The ache that silenced you is about to be silenced itself. And in its place, I'm planting laughter, peace, and revelation. The breakthrough I'm releasing will speak to every season you thought I forgot. It will validate every unseen sacrifice. And yes, it will silence every lie that told you I was done with you. I was never done. I was never distant. I was designing. So now, breathe. Let the tears come, not from pain, but from the sudden realization that I never left. Let the walls come down. Let the silence shatter. This is your moment. This is heaven leaning in, not with judgment, but with jubilation. You made it. Through the waiting, through the weeping, through the wondering. And now I come bearing good news that will change not just your situation, but your identity. You are not the forgotten. You are the favored. You are not the abandoned. You are the appointed. You are not the one who was passed over. You are the one who was reserved. And now, my child, the heavens declare with thunderous joy, the ache has been answered. I need you to hear this with your soul, not just your ears. What you thought were detours, I call divine detainment. What you call delay, I call design. I know it felt like time betrayed you. I know it seemed like every door you knocked on remained bolted, every prayer you prayed returned in silence. But what you couldn't see is what I was shielding you from, beneath the surface, beyond your senses, behind the curtain of time. There were moments you were inches from walking into something your heart wanted, but your soul wasn't ready to hold. There were relationships, opportunities, and platforms that looked perfect from the outside but were riddled with hidden snares on the inside. I didn't block you because I was punishing you. I blocked you because I was protecting you. I pulled you back, not to punish you, but to preserve you. I delayed the dream not to discourage your faith, but to deliver it in fullness. Imagine a priceless gift, handcrafted for your fingerprint, sealed with heaven's signature, wrapped in precision, and then delivered too early, while your hands were still weary from battle. Would you have recognized it? Would you have cherished it? No, beloved. I know the weight of your destiny, and I've been carefully maturing your spirit so it can carry the blessing without it breaking you. This is why I've waited, not idly but intentionally. I was protecting the beauty I've been shaping for your life, beauty that must not be rushed. I was putting the final touches on what you could not see. While you questioned the silence, I was speaking to angels. While you wept from what felt like waiting in vain, I was whispering instructions into atmospheres on your behalf. But looked like loss was actually latency, because what I'm about to release cannot be delivered prematurely. It was guarded, grown, and now it's ready. And so are you. You cried out, "Why not now?" And I answered, not in volume, but in vision. I saw 10 steps ahead when you could only see today. I saw the weight of pressure on the other side of the door you begged me to open. I saw the conversations in hidden rooms, the intentions of hearts masked in flattery, the confusion that would have followed a yes I never gave. I protected you not just from danger, but from distraction. Not just from enemies, but from the erosion of your assignment. Your delay was not denial, it was divine. Your pause was not punishment, it was preparation. And now the time has turned. The locks I held closed are now loosening. The yes you've longed for is now emerging. But not just any yes, my yes. The yes that carries favor without compromise. A yes that doesn't just open a door, but builds a foundation under your feet. The delay was not dead time. It was sacred strategy. To walk boldly into what's next. No more hesitation. No more shame about what didn't happen when you thought it should. You weren't late. You were being lovingly led. My plans don't conform to human timelines. They explode beyond them. And when I move, I don't just catch you up. I accelerate what was held in reserve. Expect a release so full, so fertile, so fierce, it will make up for years that felt stagnant. Expect favor that doesn't just open doors, it kicks them off their hinges. Expect divine timing that feels like suddenness but was actually slow-cooked in heaven's oven. This, my child, is the reward of trusting when you didn't understand. And now, it begins. Let me take you back to the moments you thought I didn't notice. The prayers whispered through trembling lips. The ones soaked in tears at 3 a.m. when you didn't even know what to ask for anymore. The silent cries. The thoughts you couldn't form into words. I caught them all. I heard every syllable, every groan of your spirit, every breathless ache that reached beyond language. You thought some of those prayers faded into the night, forgotten by morning. But not with me. I do not lose a single word that comes from a surrendered heart. In fact, I engraved them. I carved them into eternity's vault. And while you moved on, unsure if anything would come of it, I began movements in the unseen, movements so intricate, so precise, so personal, that only heaven's craftsmanship could contain them. There are answers on the way now that you prayed for years ago. Requests you made when you were younger, more naive, more full of hope, before life tried to beat the boldness out of you. You may have forgotten them, but I didn't. I honored your trust. I sealed those prayers in my glory and waited for the fullness of time to bring them forth. Some of the things you thought were irrelevant were actually the very keys I used to unlock your next season. Some of the declarations you made out of desperation were received as declarations of destiny. I didn't need perfect grammar or flawless faith. I needed honesty. And every ounce of your honesty became a seed in my garden. Child, the harvest is not just coming. It's already blooming. You're about to walk through fields you forgot you planted. Let this settle in your heart. Heaven does not delete. I don't discard your desperation. I don't overlook your longing. I archive your intercession with reverence. While people around you may have dismissed your depth, I honored it. While others forgot your pain, I preserved it. Not to torment you, but to transform you. The reason I allowed the silence to stretch was not because your prayers lacked power. It's because I wanted to multiply their effect. And now, the dam is breaking. You'll begin to feel it. Not just emotionally, but tangibly. Answers arriving in conversations you didn't initiate. Provision showing up without explanation. Alignment happening in ways that logic cannot predict. This is the fruit of your forgotten prayers. And I'm bringing them back to you, not as reminders of pain, but as monuments of my faithfulness. So, beloved, do not ever believe the lie that I'm ignoring you. Even when your words faltered, your faith was recorded. Even when your tone wavered, your trust was weighty in the heavenlies. You prayed with cracked confidence, and I answered with covenant. What you did in secret, I am now revealing in sight. I am not just the God who listens, I am the God who remembers. And I've been waiting for the moment your spirit would be still enough to hear the echo of your own voice, coming back to you now, fulfilled, honored, resurrected. This is the season where your petitions become performance, where your intercessions become inheritance. What? Listen. Respect. Because what you forgot, I have remembered. And what you remember, I am now resurrecting. My child, brace your heart, because what I am releasing into your life is not a drop, not a drizzle, not a hopeful mist of mercy. It is a flood, a divine downpour, a tidal wave of fulfillment that has been gathering in the unseen, held back only by the hand of perfect timing. And now that hand has moved. The dam is breaking, and I need you to stand under the overflow, not with fear, but with expectation. For too long, you survived on drips, small moments of encouragement here and there, flickers of joy, faint glimpses of what could be. But I am done with rationed hope. I am done with crumbs when I've prepared a table. I am done with you barely making it. This season begins with a surge. It begins with the roar of everything I promised, and more. Yes, more. Because I always exceed what you imagined. You've been trained by trials to expect just enough. You've been conditioned by delay to protect your heart from disappointment. But I need you to unlearn the language of lack. I need you to lift your hands not as a beggar waiting for spare change, but as a child who knows the vault of heaven has been opened just for them. I'm not just answering your requests. I'm fulfilling prophecies you forgot were even about you. There are alignments now forming, conversations happening, doors unlocking, resources moving, that will all converge in such rapid succession it will feel like divine choreography. Not chaos, not coincidence, but unmistakable, undeniable, breathtaking alignment. I've commanded the winds, and they are blowing in your favor. I've called the rivers to rise, and they are carrying what you once thought was unreachable right to your doorstep. This is the moment where you stop surviving and start swimming in supernatural flow. But hear me, this isn't just about increase. This is about intimacy. I'm not flooding your life with answered prayers to impress you. I'm flooding you to draw you nearer. Every fulfilled promise is a pathway into deeper trust. Every supernatural alignment is a thread woven into the fabric of your destiny. And every overflow is a reminder. I never forgot. I never changed my mind. I never lost sight of the timeline I wrote for you with fire and glory. I've been holding this for the exact second your spirit could carry it without crumbling. And now that second is here. No delay. No detour. No devil can stop what I've set in motion. I've waited for this window, not because I was unprepared, but because I wanted everything, to arrive at once so you would know without question, this was me. So prepare, not with anxiety, but with awe. The flood is not destructive. It is restorative. It will wash away the residue of disappointment. It will cleanse the weariness from your bones. It will replenish every place you have been emptied. Watch the waters rise. Watch the doors swing wide. Watch the maybe one day become right now. Because I am not releasing droplets of encouragement. I am sending a deluge of divine encounters. This is not trickle time. This is flood time. So hold nothing back. Let your faith expand. Let your prayers stretch beyond logic. Because what I'm releasing has never been seen in your life before. And it starts now. Can you feel it, child? That stirring in the atmosphere. That shift you couldn't explain. That weight in your chest that suddenly feels lighter. That's not emotion. That's evidence. That's the signal that what you've long been aching for has already crossed the threshold into your now. The good news isn't on its way. It has arrived. It hath been hand-delivered, not by chance, not by luck, but by divine assignment. It's no longer hidden in the future, wrapped in mystery. It is unwrapped, unveiled, unfolding right where you are. And it is touching your reality with such intimacy that you'll have no choice but to say, only God could do this. I'm not speaking of potential. I'm speaking of present power. I'm not prophesying someday. I'm announcing today. This is the moment where your story turns not with slow build-up, but with sudden glory. The pages are not turning with caution. They are flipping with force. The very thing you thought was postponed, denied, forgotten, that thing is now live in your timeline. You may have looked for signs in the sky, but I was embedding them in your steps. You were watching for evidence, not realizing the evidence was watching you, waiting for your faith to reach full term. And now it has. What was hidden is being revealed. What was spoken in the secret place is being shouted from the mountaintop of your testimony. You will no longer just hear about my goodness. You will taste it, wear it, walk in it. The good news has arrived, and it came with instructions. Make room, expand your borders, prepare for permanence. This is not a visit. This is a move in. My glory is not passing by. It is setting up residence. The joy that has entered your space isn't here for a moment. It is here to rebuild everything that pain tore down. And the breakthrough doesn't stop at one area of your life. It spreads. It multiplies. It overflows. Your home, your mind, your relationships, your identity, everything is being touched by this arrival. You'll notice it in small ways first. Peace where there was pressure. Clarity where there was confusion. unexpected favor in conversations you didn't initiate. And then, all at once, it will be undeniable. The shift will be so dramatic, so drenched in grace, that even your enemies will call it a miracle. This is not subtle. This is supernatural. And it is happening now. So don't look over your shoulder anymore, hoping for the next thing. Look around you. The room you're sitting in is pregnant with presence. The very air around you has changed. I am here, not as a distant God, but as a present Redeemer. The good news didn't knock and wait. It walked in with authority. I offered your story, and I've just turned the page. So breathe deeply. Lift your eyes. Widen your heart. Because this next chapter doesn't whisper hope. It declares it with the roar of resurrection. And it begins right here, in your now. My beloved, let me gather the ashes you've been carrying. The heaviness, the heartache, the haunting echo of all you lost in seasons that never made sense. Yes, I know you tried to move forward without closure. I saw you piece together days with aching limbs and a soul that groaned beneath the weight of disappointment. I watched you sit silently in spaces where laughter once lived, wondering if joy had permanently abandoned you. You wore mourning like a second skin, not because you chose it, but because it clung to you when everything else fell away. And yet, even there, even in the dust and dimness of grief, I was forming something unshakable beneath your sorrow. I did not let it consume you. I was not content to let you crumble. I placed a secret strength in your ribs and whispered hope into your breath when you thought you had none left. Now hear me, child, that season is breaking open. The shroud of sorrow is lifting, not by accident, but by authority. I am turning mourning into movement. I am turning lament into liberation. I am turning sighs into psalms, and tears into testimony. This isn't a gentle shift. It's a holy reversal. What once looked like an ending is now becoming the backdrop for your unveiling. That's right. This isn't just recovery. This is revelation. I am unveiling the beauty that pain could not erase. I am unveiling the purpose hidden in your perseverance. I am unveiling the favor that waited quietly in the shadows of your suffering. The end that you feared was fatal is now being revealed as the veil that had to tear for the glory to break through. I did not abandon you in the ashes. I anointed you in them. And now I bring you out, not with leftovers, but with legacy. The time of weeping has served its purpose, and softened your soil, and deepened your roots. It cleared the clutter from your heart so that I could plant something pure. Now the season of dancing begins, not shallow, temporary dancing, but deep, divine, prophetic dancing. A rhythm of joy born not from circumstances but from covenant. You are stepping into wonder. Not childish fantasy but sacred awe. You'll look around and wonder how everything changed so suddenly. You'll wonder why the weight feels lighter, why the colors seem brighter, why the silence is suddenly saturated with my voice. It's because this is not just a new chapter. It's a new dimension. And you, my child, are not ending. You are emerging. You are not falling apart. You are being revealed. The unveiling isn't just about what's around you. It's about what's within you that the pain could not bury. So lift your head. Wipe your tears, not because the emotion was wrong, but because the mourning has done its job. You survived what should have taken you out. You kept breathing when hope felt like vapor. And now I say, rise and dance. Not with performance, but with presence. Not in denial, but in destiny. I, the Lord your God, am turning mourning into movement, and weariness into wonder. Watch what I do next. This unveiling is only beginning. Let me tell you something glorious. something sacred, something that will shake the dust off your hope. Your name is known in places your feet have never touched. Yes, your name, spoken, sung, declared in rooms not built by human hands. There are chambers in heaven where the sound of your name echoes with divine resonance, not because of fame, not because of title, but because of faith. I have written your name on the scrolls of remembrance. I have whispered your name in my courts when others forgot it on earth. I have had angels gather around the sound of your perseverance, and they have not only watched your journey, they've rehearsed your celebration. They've seen the pages of your breakthrough, and they know the chapter that is about to unfold. There's joy in the atmosphere, child. Joy unspeakable. Joy that has waited for the unveiling of what's next for you. You may not feel it yet. You may still see shadows of yesterday's struggle. But heaven already sees the light beaming from what's coming. And the angels assigned to your destiny are not waiting for instructions. They're already moving. They are preparing the table. They are opening the gates. They are clearing paths you don't even know exist yet. Because your breakthrough isn't random. It's rehearsed. It's prophesied. It's practiced at heavenly places. And now it is being performed in your life. This is not hype. It's holy. This is not motivation. It's manifestation. You didn't work your way into this moment. You were woven into it by design. Your name has weight in the spirit. And now, that weight is calling into being what was reserved for you all along. Child, there were times you felt invisible. You wondered if anyone saw you, really saw you. But all the while, heaven watched. Not from a distance, but in detail. Every act of obedience, every silent yes, every moment you chose me over convenience, it didn't go unnoticed. It created resonance. It produced sound. And that sound traveled beyond this realm and touched the ears of angels who said, "We know who that one is." Not because you were loud, but because your loyalty thundered. Not because you were perfect, but because your pursuit was pure. And that sound triggered movements, assignments, orders from my throne. And now, as I speak, the sound is turning into sight. The unseen is becoming seen. The promised is becoming present. So, listen closely. Don't let the noise of life drown out the whispers of destiny. Don't miss the beauty of what's unfolding because you're looking for something grand, and miss the glory in what's gradual. The angels haven't stopped rejoicing. They are still shouting with joy because they know what you're stepping into. Your name has been carried on wings of praise, wrapped in favor, and delivered into this very moment. And now that moment is rising. Let your heart believe again. Let your spirit lean in. You're not forgotten. You're not overlooked. Your name has been called in places that matter most, and heaven is not silent about your story. They are singing it. And soon, the earth will see it. My child, pause and look back, not to grieve, but to see with glory-soaked eyes what I preserved in the middle of what tried to incinerate you. You've walked through fire, intense, invisible, internal fire, the kind that scorched your hope, singed your confidence, and tried to burn bridges you hadn't even crossed yet. I saw the flame rise. I saw the enemy fan it. I saw circumstances swirl like smoke around your purpose, attempting to suffocate what I placed inside of you. But the fire failed. It did not destroy you. It could not reach the core of your destiny because I fireproofed you in secret seasons long before the blaze began. Before you knew how hot the battle would get, I had already covered your calling in the flame-resistant oil of my spirit. Yes, you felt the heat. Yes, the pressure singeed your strength. Yes, the embers of betrayal, disappointment, confusion, and loss surrounded you in a circle of testing. But child, Look closely. Your soul is still intact. Your calling is still alive. Your identity still echoes with my name. Not because you dodged in the flame, but because I met you in the middle of it. Just like I stood with the 3 Hebrew boys in the furnace, I stood with you in yours. And because of that, the fire didn't leave residue. It didn't leave the stench of failure. It didn't touch your identity. It only purified what wasn't meant to follow you forward. It refined the gold, removed the excess, stripped the distractions, and revealed the diamond-cut clarity of who you are becoming in me. You are not a fire victim. You are a fire victor. You are not fragile. You are forged. Let this truth take root deep inside. Your destiny is untouchable by the flames of this world. They may howl around you, but they cannot have you. They may threaten your peace, but they cannot steal your promise. Why? Because my word over your life is heat sealed by heaven. It is protected by purpose, guarded by glory, secured by sovereignty. The fire didn't surprise me. It served me. It was the very environment I used to accelerate the unshakable in you. So the next time you feel surrounded by pressure, by spiritual smoke, by circumstances trying to consume, remember, you've already survived what should have silenced you. And if I brought you through it once, I will do it again, and again, and again. Because grace doesn't run from fire. Grace walks through it and leaves no ashes behind. So now, child, walk forward knowing this. You are marked. You are mantled. You are flame-proofed by faith, preserved by purpose and propelled by power. The fire tried, but it failed. The enemy watched, but he wept. Because not only did you walk out of it, you walked out more radiant than before. That glow on your life, that's not the spotlight. That's the afterglow of divine survival. And it's only the beginning. There's something sacred about the one who stays. The one who chooses the quiet yes when it would have been easier to quit. The one who stands when it's easier to scatter. My child, that's you. When others ran toward comfort, toward noise, toward escape, you remain. Not because it was easy, not because you were fearless, but because somewhere deep in the marrow of your spirit, you knew my name was still worthy, even when my ways felt hidden. That kind of loyalty is rare. That kind of perseverance cannot be taught. It is forged in intimacy. And I want you to know, I saw it all. I measured every moment you chose me when compromise offered shortcuts. I counted the cost you paid just to remain rooted when every storm told you to uproot. You didn't just stay, you stayed surrendered. And that, beloved, moves heaven. You've walked through seasons where people who once pledged faithfulness faded like mist in the morning. They forgot promises, forgot prayers, forgot you. But you, child, chose to forgive even when there was no apology, no closure, no explanation. You forgave in silence. You forgave with tear-stained faith. You laid down the offense like an offering, again and again, while others held on to pride. And in doing so, you mirrored me more than you realized. Every time you let go of what could have poisoned your peace, I expanded your portion. You may not have seen it at the time, but every act of mercy made room for miracles. And now the heavens are not just observing, they are honoring. The reward of your obedience is arriving on the wings of restoration. Others doubted. They laughed at the waiting. They mocked your declarations. They wondered why you still held on to me when results didn't show up on your schedule. But you believe it, not with perfect faith, but with persistent faith. The kind that wobbles but walks. the kind that questions but continues. You believed me when all you had left was a memory of what I once said. You held on to the echo of my promise when the noise of delay tried to drown it out. That belief, that kind of trust, it's weighty. It speaks louder in heaven than the loudest praise shouted from stages. And now, I honor it, not just in private, but in public. I will not let your faith go unseen. I will not let your loyalty be unrewarded. You stayed when others sprinted. You believed when others bailed. And I have kept record in the archives of eternity. So now, hear this. I am flipping the script. The forgotten will be favored. The remaining will be revealed. The believing will be blessed. You are about to see a reversal so dramatic, so divine, that it will silence every voice that questioned your journey. You did remain for the reward, but I'm sending it anyway. You didn't forgive to be celebrated, but I'm celebrating you in the unseen. You didn't believe to be recognized, but I'm recognizing your name in places of prominence, both spiritual and natural. What's coming next is not just repayment, it's recognition. You honored me when it hurt, and now I will honor you in ways that heal. Prepare, child. This honor carries glory, and it's written in your name. My beloved, I know what it feels like when time stretches long and silence stretches longer. I know how easily your heart has wrestled with the aching question, why hasn't it happened yet? You've seen others leap ahead, receive, rejoice, run, and you stood in the shadows, quietly wondering if I passed over your name, if I misplaced your file in the throne room, if perhaps my promise was just a poetic idea and not a living intention. But I need you to hear me clearly now. Heaven is not slow. Heaven does not hesitate in fear. Heaven does not operate in confusion. Heaven is not reacting, it is responding. And its response is always rooted in strategy, not speed. What you thought was delay, I have been using as divine timing. What you called being overlooked, I called being reserved for the right reveal. You've watched others step into moments that looked like what you asked me for. And you celebrated, but quietly wondered if maybe they were more ready, more worthy, more favored. But child, my release is not random. It is not for the masses. It is for the marked. And you are marked. Not by man, but by me. Your name is not in a pile. It is on a plan. A blueprint that has been unfolding with sacred precision. And the reason you haven't seen it yet is not because it wasn't coming, but because I've been waiting for you to believe this moment wasn't made for someone like you. It was made for you. This isn't a generic promise. It's a God-sealed prophecy, tailored in the thread of your personal calling. The moment your faith shifts from maybe someday to yes, Lord, now, here, for me, is the moment the vault of my provision swings open. Let me be direct. The heavens are moving now. The machinery of the miraculous is in motion. Angels are responding not to vague prayers, but to activated faith. Faith that says this word is mine. This season is mine. This shift has my name written in fire. I am not teasing you with proximity. I am inviting you into possession. The release is not stuck in the skies. It is already descending into your timeline. But it requires alignment. Your belief must align with my declaration. Your agreement must echo what heaven is announcing. Because faith isn't just hope, it's a key. And when that key turns in the lock of your heart, everything changes. That is why I have spoken this so personally, because I needed you to stop seeing yourself as a spectator and start standing as the recipient. Stop scanning the crowd, child. I'm speaking to you. So now, believe boldly. Not with borrowed confidence or borrowed language, but with your own voice. Let your spirit say yes fully, finally, ferociously. This isn't a random rain of blessing. It's a downpour destined for your field. And once you believe it's for you, the floodgates respond. You don't have to qualify yourself. I already did. You don't have to beg. I already decided. This is not the moment to stay in the shadows of maybe. This is your unveiling. This is your now. Heaven is not slow. It's strategic. And today, the strategy concludes. The release begins. Is yours. And now, child, as I open heaven over your life, I call you to help me open it over others. This word, this good news you've just received, was never meant to stop with you. I'm calling forth givers, sowers, and kingdom igniters. Because when you sow into my word, you don't just give. You ignite harvests. You send manna into spiritual deserts. You become a river of living water to souls crying out for a lifeline. Those who refresh others will themselves be refreshed. I say to you now, Proverbs 11:25. So if your spirit is burning to help carry this message further, give through Super Thanks membership or the PayPal link below. Do it now. Don't delay. Sow into the soil of my word and watch how I pour back into you. Let me lift the lie that's lingered over your spirit for too long. The lie that whispers, you missed it. That voice has kept you frozen in regret, retracing paths in your memory, trying to find the moment you believe you took the wrong turn, missed the right cue, or messed up the map. But I say this now with all the authority of the one who wrote your timeline. You have not missed your turn. You haven't fallen behind. You haven't forfeited your future. You haven't been passed by. You've been prepared. What you thought was missed opportunity was actually maturing process. I didn't cancel the blessing. I cultivated you until you were ready to carry it with strength and not crumble under its weight. You see, blessings are not toys. They are tools. They are sacred assignments wrapped in glory. And I love you too much to give you something too soon that would collapse your spirit or compromise your calling. So yes, I paused. I waited. I watched. I refined. I deepened the roots beneath the soil so the fruit above would be sustained. The version of you that asked for the promise was faithful, but the version of you that's about to receive it is fortified. You've been shaped, stretched, sanded, sanctified. You've been matured in the mystery and purified in the pressure. And now, the blessing I'm about to release doesn't just excite your heart, it fits your spirit. It belongs with you. It was tailored for your now, not your then. Let this truth resound. I don't rush what I love. I don't deliver prematurely. I develop fully. And that's what I've done with you. Every delay, every detour, every detachment from what you thought you needed, it was all part of my shaping. And now that the vessel is ready, the blessing is being released. You no longer have to chase it. It's chasing you. You no longer have to manipulate moments to find favor. Favor has found you. You're about to step into what you once could only imagine, not because you forced the timing, but because you surrendered to the process. And that surrender has sculpted you into someone who doesn't just want the blessing, but someone who can carry it with authority, with humility, with purity. So release regret. Let go of the what-ifs. They no longer serve your story. The only thing you missed was a version of yourself that wasn't yet ready. But now you are. You've matured into the moment you prayed for. The promise fits. The calling aligns. The assignment is activated. You haven't been forgotten. You've been forged. And this is the hour where everything converges. You haven't missed your turn. You've become it. My child, I've watched you live in quiet obedience. I've seen you walk through seasons where your growth was invisible to everyone but me. The world saw your stillness, your silence, your waiting. But I saw your war. I saw how you surrendered again and again, even when you had every reason to retreat. I saw you choose hiddenness over hype, depth over display, roots over recognition. And now, I speak to that version of you, the one who has bloomed in the dark, fought in the quiet, healed in the hidden. I am bringing you into the light. This is not just about visibility. This is about unveiling. What I've been building inside you is too heavy, too holy, too filled with glory to stay buried beneath the soil of obscurity. The time has come, not for performance, but for presence, not for spotlight, but for significance. I am calling you out, not for attention, but for assignment. You didn't force your way here. You didn't demand the stage. You didn't chase applause. That's why I'm trusting you with influence that doesn't fracture. I'm giving you visibility that doesn't corrupt. Because I've watched how you stewarded the unseen. I've watched you remain faithful in rooms no one else entered. I've watched you wrestle with me in the midnight hours while others slept. And I've stored every sacred moment like precious oil in heaven's vault. Now I pour that oil out over you, not as a reward, but as a release. I release a visibility that's rooted in identity. I'm elevating what I've established. I'm revealing what I've refined. And child, I'm starting with you. Not because you sought it, but because you're surrendered enough to carry it. You are not rising into fame. You are rising into fulfillment, into purpose, into prominence. Yes, but prominence that points back to me. Let me speak clearly. What I've done in you is uncontainable. You've outgrown the quiet confines of the former season. You've expanded in the spirit, and now the external must reflect the internal. I've spoken your name into places your feet haven't walked yet. I've highlighted your obedience in rooms of influence and prepared hearts to recognize what I've placed upon you. This will feel sudden, but it's not. It's strategic. It's synchronized. And it's sacred. I'm pulling back the veil not just on your gift, but on your journey, so others may see what grace really looks like when it carries someone through the fire. Your scars will shine. Your story will speak. Your breakthrough will blaze like a signal in the darkness for others still waiting in their silent battles. So don't shrink back. Don't apologize for the space I'm giving you. Don't doubt the doors I'm opening. You don't need to explain the elevation. I will validate it myself. I have raised you in secret, and now I will reveal you in glory. The unveiling begins not just with what you do, but with who you are. You are my vessel, my voice, my evidence. And now, I bring you out of hiding, not for your fame, but for my fire to be seen in you. What was once hidden will now testify, and it starts with you. Child, let me ease the tension that's tried to entangle your heart. The prayer to give up. The unspoken fear that someone else's rise means your fall. And if they got there first, it means you've been left behind. No, that's not the language of heaven. That's the noise of comparison, the toxin of this world trying to pollute the purity of your calling. But I tell you now, there is no competition in my kingdom. And I do not divide destiny. I do not recycle purpose. I do not compare children. I complete them. You are not behind. You are not late. You are not overshadowed. I haven't overlooked your name. I've carved out a lane for you so distinct, so divine, so drenched in your DNA, that no one else can run it, not even if they tried. I know what you've seen. I know how social timelines can scream louder than spiritual ones. I know how it looks like everyone is accelerating while you're in slow motion. But child, you don't need to copy anyone else's blueprint when I've given you your own. You don't need to chase someone else's promise when yours is still coming with your name etched in eternity. Their rise is not your rejection. Their celebration does not cancel your season. In fact, every time I bless another, it's evidence that I'm in the neighborhood and you are next in line. But the line is not about competition. It's about confirmation. You are not waiting because I'm indecisive. You are waiting because your lane has been cleared, and I am ensuring nothing interferes with what I've assigned for you. Your portion is untouched. It hasn't been rerouted. It hasn't been diminished. It hasn't been diluted. What I wrote over your life is still intact, still active, still on schedule. And what's more, no one else can have it. Not because I'm possessive, but because I'm precise. The promise I wrote for you fits your spirit. It matches your mantle. It responds to the frequency of your faith. And even when doubt whispered that it was too late, I held it in place, like a sacred inheritance waiting for the exact moment your heart would be ready to believe again. That moment is now. Not when you perform, not when you prove yourself, but now, right here, in the space between past frustration and future fulfillment. Right here, in the soil of surrender. So breathe deep, child. Shake off the lies. Silence the inner critic that says you've missed too much, that you should be further along, that others have already taken your seat at the table. And no one can take what I've prepared for you. And no one can run in a lane that's locked to your spirit. And no one can carry the weight of what I've been growing inside you. This is the season where you rest in the truth that the kingdom is not about racing. It's about revealing. And now, your lane is opening. Your portion is awakening. And your moment is coming. Not in competition, but in completion. My beloved child, come close. I need to speak something so tender, so sacred, that only stillness will allow you to receive it. You've believed a lie, subtly, quietly, without meaning to. A lie that crept in through years of rejection, silence, delays, and disappointment. A lie that you are difficult to love, difficult to understand, difficult to bless. You've internalized moments of abandonment as if they were reflections of your worth. You've measured your identity by the reactions of wounded people. And slowly, a narrative formed in the shadows of your soul that said, maybe I'm just too much, or maybe I'm not enough. But hear me now, I did not create you to be tolerated. I designed you to be celebrated. You are not hard to bless. You are my delight. You are not a burden to carry. You are a masterpiece to unveil. And I am unraveling every lie that ever told you otherwise. You see, you've been looking to broken mirrors to reflect your value. You've waited for certain people to approve you, thinking that once they accept you, then maybe you're truly lovable, truly seen, truly chosen. But those voices weren't equipped to validate you because they didn't author you. I did. And I never made you to be ordinary. I never shaped you to fit molds built by fear. I made you distinct, woven with wonder, shaped by purpose, kissed by glory. And that uniqueness was never meant to be diluted to make others comfortable. The problem was never that you were too much or not enough. The problem was you were asking people for confirmation in places where I already gave you covenant. You were waiting for earthly echo to validate a heavenly decree. And now I'm tearing down every false agreement, every inner vow, every silent contract you made with rejection. I'm breaking them. All of them. Right now. Child, listen to my voice, the voice that formed your bones and authored your breath. You are easy to bless. Not because you're perfect, but because you're mine. You are easy to love. Not because you've never failed, but because my love doesn't calculate worth based on performance. You are not behind. You are not too broken. You are not too loud, too quiet, too sensitive, too intense. You are perfectly positioned for the outpouring I have reserved for your name. And the more you believe this truth, the more heaven's blessings will flow, freely, fiercely, faithfully. Because I don't bless potential, I bless identity. And your identity is not based on past pain. It's based on present promise. So breathe, daughter. Exhale, son. You don't need to keep chasing voices that weren't meant to name you. I named you. I called you before time began. I shaped every fiber of your being with celebration in my heart. You are not hard to love. You are held in love. And you are not difficult to bless. You were designed for favor. And we're betting. And we're proving. And we're thinking. The time of mistaken identity is over. Now begins the revealing. And what I see when I look at you isn't a problem to fix. It's a wonder to unfold. My child, I know how much you want clarity. I know how deeply your heart craves understanding, to connect all the dots, to make sense of what broke, what shifted, what stayed silent. You've been taught that if you could just understand it, you could finally have peace. But I am calling you to something deeper than understanding. I am calling you to trust. Not blind trust. Not naive surrender. But anchored, rooted, holy trust. Trust that doesn't wait for evidence but rests in who I am. Because clarity may soothe the mind, but trust anchors the soul. And it's trust, not explanation, that will carry you into the next dimension I've prepared for you. You said to me, Lord, I just need to know why. But child, if I showed you the full map, you'd try to reroute it. If I explained every detail of the wilderness, you try to avoid the very ground I've anointed for your breakthrough. There are some battles that don't make sense until the victory. There are some stories that only gain meaning in hindsight. And right now, I need you to walk, not with complete understanding, but with complete confidence. Not in what you see, but in who I am. You may not know the next step, but you know me. And that is enough. Because I'm not just giving you direction, I am the way. I'm not just answering your questions, I am the answer. And I'm not just lighting your path, I am walking it with you. You see, the enemy wants you tangled in confusion. He wants you stuck in the paralysis of overthinking, trying to calculate your next move based on fear and what-ifs. But I'm calling you into the rhythm of peace, a peace that passes understanding, not explains it. A peace that says, even here, even now, even without all the answers, I trust you. Because that kind of trust moves mountains. That kind of trust opens doors that logic can't. That kind of trust unlocks realms of favor and acceleration that no strategy could orchestrate. Trust doesn't mean you stop asking me questions. It means you stop needing every answer before you move. And I honor that kind of faith more than you know. So let go of needing to have it all figured out. Let go of the pressure to be your own guide. That was never your role. I never asked you to be the cartographer of your future. I asked you to be the follower of my footsteps. I asked you to trust when it didn't make sense. To believe when the road got dark. To move even when the destination felt invisible. And now, child, as you lean into that trust, you will find me closer than ever. You'll feel my presence in the pause. You will hear my whisper in the quiet. And you will watch as peace becomes your compass. I didn't promise understanding in every season, but I promised myself. And I always keep my word. So trust me. Not because you understand everything, but because you know me. And that is what will carry you, now and always. My child, come into stillness for this one. Breathe. Set down the lists, the timelines, the imagined milestones you thought you had to meet to be ready. Set down the questions that circled endlessly in your head. Have I done enough? Prayed enough? Changed enough? I hear the undertone behind your prayers, the ache of a heart that quietly wonders if my promise depends on your performance. But hear me now in the deepest part of your spirit. I'm not blessing performance. I'm blessing presence. What I am doing next in your life does not flow from your effort. It flows from your proximity. I am not calling for your perfection. I am calling for your presence. To show up. To be with me. To make room for me in the middle of your mess, not just after you've cleaned it up. You've been conditioned by people, systems, and culture to believe blessing is earned, like a wage, a reward, a stamp of approval given only to those who impress. And so you've tried. You fasted with desperate intensity, studied with trembling urgency, served with sacrificial hope, and while I've seen and honored every moment of that devotion, I want to remind you, my favor isn't a paycheck. It's an inheritance. It doesn't come to the qualified. It comes to the called. And you, child, are called. You are named, known, and wanted. Not because of what you've done, but because of who I am. And I've chosen to dwell with you. You don't have to earn my presence. You carry it. You don't have to prove your worth. I prove in my love the moment I bled for your name. So here is the truth. What's coming next will not make sense in the metrics of performance. It will offend those who measure favor by effort. But that's how I move, by grace. And grace disrupts every economy of self-righteousness. I am moving in such a way that even the disqualified will be qualified, not because they checked every religious box, but because they showed up with a surrendered heart. That's all I'm asking of you. Be present. When the miracle unfolds, be present. When the conversation opens, be present. When the invitation is extended, when the oil starts to pour, when the timing aligns, don't question if you're worthy. Just be there. Just receive. Just lift your hands and let the blessing rest on you, not because you chased it down, but because you were available when it arrived. So come boldly, not as an employee waiting for evaluation, but as a child stepping into a room where your name is already on the seat. You don't need to be more to receive. You just need to be here. Fully. Honestly. Completely. My blessing is not responding to your checklist. It's responding to your closeness. I'm not watching your performance. I'm watching your posture. And when I see you, open, raw, surrendered, I pour out what no one else can earn. I'm blessing presence. Yours. Right here. Right now. Let me show you what you've been carrying without even realizing it. Look at your hands, not with the eyes of flesh, but with the eyes of the Spirit. What you see may appear ordinary, tired, trembling, unsure. But I see differently. I see hands that hold keys, not just symbolic ones, spiritual ones. Real authority, real access, real breakthrough. I place them in your hands during moments of surrender, moments of silence, moments of obedience, when you thought nothing was shifting. Every time you said yes to me in secret, a key was placed. Every time you forgave instead of retaliated, trusted instead of doubted, stayed when you could have left, I placed another key. And now, the time has come. Not to collect more keys, but to use the ones you already have. Fear has lied to you. It told you certain doors were closed forever, doors of opportunity, reconciliation, healing, provision. Fear whispered that part of your life is done. Move on. It's locked. And for a while, you believed it. You stood in front of doors marked impossible, too late, not for you, and you backed away, assuming the lock was stronger than the promise. But I tell you now, you already carry what opens it. The very thing you've avoided is the thing I've anointed you to unlock. The door you thought was sealed was actually waiting for the sound of your faith. And now, child, your hands are trembling, not from weakness but from readiness. Because heaven has synchronized this moment for one reason. It's unlocking time. But listen closely. These aren't ordinary doors. These are generational gates. These are inheritance vaults. These are revival rooms you've been praying for without knowing the full weight of what they hold. What's behind them isn't just for you. It's for your bloodline. It's for the ones connected to your obedience. When you unlock it, favor spills over not just in your life, but into atmospheres around you. Your yes is the access point. Your trust is the currency. Your voice is the key code. And when you step toward what fear said was locked, and lift your hand to the doorknob of promise with faith in your grip, I will meet you there. I will turn the tumblers. I will swing the gate wide. And what you once assumed was unreachable will flood your life like a river released from captivity. This isn't theory. This is reality. Supernatural doors are swinging open. Healing doors. Favor doors. Restoration doors. Ministry doors. Financial doors. Relationship doors. Clarity doors. And some will not look like doors at first. They'll look like disruptions. But as you lean into me, you'll recognize them for what they are. Divine thresholds. You'll see me standing on the other side, smiling, saying, I've waited for this moment, for you to realize what you've always had. You're not at the mercy of what man opens or closes. You're walking in kingdom authority. You carry keys, and now you use them. What's behind the next door will change everything. And it's time. My beloved child, listen to me, not with ears of doubt, but with ears of your spirit. I know you've asked, more than once, in the privacy of your pain, did you forget about me? You didn't ask it in anger, but in ache. In those quiet moments when you watched others get called forward, when the silence in your own life grew louder than any prayer you could muster. And though you nodded politely when people told you just keep waiting, something inside you whispered, but what if I was overlooked? What if the miracle missed me? Now hear me clearly, you were never forgotten. You were always factored in. Every moment of delay, every deed, every loss, every longing, every invisible victory, it's all been accounted for. Not one tear wasted, not one breath unnoticed. You know how carefully I've crafted the miracle I'm preparing for you. It's not a rushed solution. It's not a leftover blessing. It's a tailored testimony. I factored in your childhood wounds. I factored in the time you lost to grief and the relationships that left scars. I factored in your weaknesses, your history, your weariness, and even your doubts. The blueprint of your breakthrough isn't perfect because you're perfect. It's perfect because I am. I didn't just promise to work all things for good. I designed your life to prove it. Every step you thought was wasted was woven into the miracle timeline. And just because you couldn't see what I was building doesn't mean construction wasn't happening. Even in the silence, I was scripting glory. Even in the pain, I was positioning purpose. Even in the shadows, I was spotlighting what the world would soon see. Child, I didn't forget you when the opportunity passed by. I was shielding you from what your spirit wasn't ready for yet. I did abandon you when the door slammed shut. I was fortifying you so that when the right door opens, you won't hesitate to walk through it with boldness. And now, the miracle that's been growing quietly in the womb of waiting is nearing birth. But it won't come the way you expect. It won't look like a replay of someone else's story. This is unique. This is personal. This is prophetic. Because it's been factored specifically for you. I am the God who multiplies even what was broken. I am the God who aligns everything, even your missteps, into momentum. And the time is drawing near. What you thought had bypassed you is circling back around. What you thought was denied is being delivered. So don't despair. Don't sink into comparison. Don't let silence convince you I'm absent. I've been working behind every delay, designing a miracle that holds your exact dimensions. You haven't been skipped. You've been sculpted for this moment. And when it arrives, you'll see just how detailed I am. How specific. How intentional. You'll look back at the pages of pain and realize every line had a purpose. You are not forgotten. You are factored in. And heaven's countdown is already in motion. Come here, child, closer than you've dared to come in a while. Because I want to touch the part of your heart you've tried to protect. That sacred place where the deepest hurt resides. You've done your best to heal, to forgive, to move on. And yet, if you're honest, there's still a bruise. Not always visible, but undeniably there. You've said, I'm okay now, and yet, you've looked at areas of your life. Relationships that fractured, opportunities that fell apart, time that was stolen, and thought, well, that part's just gone now. The chapter is closed. That door is sealed forever. But I say to you now with the full authority of heaven's throne, nothing will be wasted. I'm not just healing the pain. I'm redeeming the portion. I'm restoring what you thought was lost beyond repair. I know what they did. I know what you lost. I know the betrayal that knocked the wind from your soul. I know how deeply it cut when you were left without explanation. I know how you questioned yourself, replayed conversations, tried to make sense of the senseless. But child, I want you to hear me. None of that escaped my view. I didn't cause the wound, but I will transform it. Because I am the Redeemer, not just of sin, but of stories. I redeem everything. Time. Energy. Relationship. Seasons that slipped through your fingers. Opportunities that were stolen by the hands of others or sabotaged by your own fear. Everything. When I heal, I don't just stitch the wound. I rewrite the aftermath. I restore the years. I reverse the narrative. I resurrect what was buried too soon. This is not just healing. It is redemption. What does that mean? It means I'm going to use what hurt you to unlock what's holy. It means I'm going to turn that detour into a destiny encounter. It means I'm going to take the time you thought was wasted and multiply it in the days ahead. You didn't lose years. You gained roots. You didn't lose opportunity. You gained oil. And now, I'm about to pour it out. Not in the old places, but in the new spaces I've prepared. The ones shaped by surrender, not striving. The ones marked by glory, not grief. Because I refuse to let pain be the final punctuation of your story. Your testimony is still unfolding. And the next chapter will echo trauma. It will trumpet triumph. So don't sit in resignation. Don't tell yourself, this is as good as it gets. No, child. Not with me. I don't stop at recovery. I finish at redemption. I restore better than before. and you're about to see me prove it. I will make it up to you. Not because you earned it, but because I'm good. Not because you deserve it, but because I'm just. What was stolen will be repaid. What was broken will be rebuilt. What was lost will be replaced and multiplied. I'm not just healing what hurt you. I'm redeeming what you thought you lost. Nothing, and I mean nothing, will be wasted. Child, you've been so strong for so long. You've carried burdens without complaint, shouldered expectations without relief, and walked through spiritual deserts with a quiet, aching resolve. You've told yourself, I've got this. I can handle it. No one else needs to know. You've become the strong one in so many rooms, the safe place for others, the one who holds space, gives grace, and never asks for much in return. But today, I'm stepping in, not just as your God, but as your Father. And I say to you now with all the love in my voice, you were never meant to carry that alone. What's been weighing on your soul in silence has not gone unnoticed. What's been building inside, without outlet or comfort, I have seen, and I refuse to let you bear it alone one more moment. Let me remind you, I never asked you to be your own savior. I never asked you to hold it all together. That pressure, that exhaustion, that chronic heaviness is not proof of strength. It's a cry for divine intervention. And I've answered. Even now, there are angels assigned to what you thought was solely your responsibility. You didn't see them, but they were there, standing guard in rooms where your heart was breaking, redirecting accidents, shielding your mind in moments you nearly snapped. They've been sent to handle what your hands can't, to carry what your shoulders were never built to bear. You were created for intimacy, not isolation. You were called to rest, not constant responsibility. And today I am lifting the burden. But more than that, I am lifting you. Do not believe the lie that strength means silence. Your vulnerability is not a weakness. It's an invitation for my power. When you weep in secret, heaven moves publicly. When you finally say, God, I can't do this, it doesn't disqualify you, it qualifies me. I've longed for this moment, not to punish, not to scold, but to relieve. You don't need to manage everything. You don't need to know the next 10 steps. You don't need to keep smiling while your soul is suffocating. Bring me the whole weight. All of it. Not just the pretty parts. Not just the parts you know how to pray through. Bring me the mess. The mental exhaustion. The emotional chaos. The secret sadness. Let the dam break. Let the tears flow. Because, child, I'm not afraid of your flood. I part seas with it. And now, I tell you this. As you release, I am sending reinforcement. Heavily into engine. Angelic backup. Divine realignment. You are not losing control. You are releasing control. And that's where I do my best work. Watch what happens when you let me be who I've always been. Your burden bearer, your rescuer, your rest. You were never meant to carry this alone. And now, you won't have to. Your help is here. Your relief is en route. And the weight that nearly broke you will become the testimony that builds others. I've seen it all. And I'm sending my angels to handle what you no longer have to. You felt that shift, didn't you? That holy breath as angels were dispatched on your behalf. Now I ask you, will you help send that same fire to someone else? There are others still carrying unbearable weight, unaware that good news has been released for them too. When you give, you don't just support a video, you release spiritual oil into the wounds of strangers. Give, and it will be given to you, pressed down, shaken together, running over. Luke 6:38. I am the God who multiplies seed and makes rivers in the wilderness. So if this message unlocked something in you, unlock the blessing for others through super thanks, membership, or PayPal below. So now, I'll meet your gift with fire, favor, and overflow. Let's talk about the wilderness. That long, dry, silent stretch of time where everything in you cried out for clarity, for relief, for direction, and got none. You wondered if I was distant, if you had done something wrong, if the blessing was rescinded or the promise withdrawn. You wrestled with me in the tension between I believe and I don't understand. And yet, day after day, you woke up and kept going. You didn't realize it at the time, but every morning you got up in the desert, you were winning. The wilderness wasn't your punishment, it was your proving ground. The place where I stripped away every false identity so I could anchor you in your true one. The place where I severed distractions and cultivated discipline. Where I turned survival into surrender, and surrender into strength. You see, child, the wilderness is never about the scenery. It's about the soul. I led you there, not to punish you but to prepare. Not to diminish but to define. Every dry season deepened your roots. Every unanswered prayer softened your heart. Every delay trained your ears to recognize the whisper of my voice. You've been growing in a place that others run from. And now, what once felt like exile is about to become elevation. Because something sacred has been forged in your isolation. Something unshakable. You didn't just wait in the wilderness. You worshipped in it. You praised in your pain. You obeyed in your obscurity. And that obedience, that faith, that devotion, it has become your launch pad. You didn't die in the desert. You grew in it. And now, it's time to emerge. This is your exit moment, not from a place, but from a season. The cloud is lifting. The pillar of fire is moving. And I'm calling you to step out, not as the same person who entered the wilderness, but as the one who conquered it. You are emerging with a new mantle, a new clarity, a new authority. People won't recognize you, not because you've changed cosmetically, but because you've shifted spiritually. The anointing that formed in hiddenness is about to announce itself in public, and you won't need to explain it. You just walk in it. What once felt like delay will now look like design. Because the wilderness didn't take from you, it taught you. And you are about to reap the reward of everything you endured. So step forward, not cautiously, but confidently. This isn't guesswork, it's graduation. You passed the test of silence. You passed the test of surrender. You passed the test of staying when you could have fled. And now I'm calling you out. Not just out of hiding, but into harvest. The same ground that felt like barrenness will now bloom. The same steps that felt pointless will now carry you into purpose. Because you didn't just survive the wilderness, you became someone in it. Someone worthy to carry the next move of my spirit. Someone who walks not in fear, but in fire. You've proven faithful in the quiet. Now it's time to emerge in the glory. Let me take you back, not to relive the pain, but to reveal the purpose. Remember the moment it fell apart. When the job vanished. When the relationship fractured. When the dream dissolved in your hands. You didn't see it coming. It blindsided you, swept the breath from your lungs, and left you with nothing but questions. You mourned it like death. And in your heart you cried, "Why would you let this happen, God? Why did you let me build something, only to watch it collapse?" I didn't answer then, not because I was absent, but because I was protecting the process. But now, child, I speak clearly. What you called loss, I called preparation. But you grieve this subtraction was actually sacred separation. I didn't just remove it, I revealed it. And now I will show you why I had to. You see, you were building around something that couldn't sustain the weight of what I'm giving you next. A job was convenient, but not covenant. That person was familiar, but not faithful. A dream was real, but not yet refined. And so I allowed the shaking. I allowed the breaking. I allowed the dismantling, not to destroy you, but to deliver you. There are times when I bless you through addition, yes, but there are also times when my love shows up as removal. Because what you don't see when you're clinging to what feels safe is how it's slowly choking your destiny. You thought you were losing your grip on the blessing. But the truth is, I was loosening your grip on what was blocking it. And now, I am not only restoring what was taken, I am revealing the necessity of its removal. You'll begin to see clearly in the coming days. Not just new doors opening, but the old ones you once mourned, now seen for what they truly were, detours disguised as destinations. I will show you how I use the subtraction to make room for supernatural alignment. I will show you how I redirected your path, not as punishment, but as protection. You'll see the full arc of the story, the before, the breaking, and the birthing. And you will not feel shame over what you lost. You will feel reverence for the one who rescued you through it. Because subtraction wasn't the end of the equation, it was how I cleared space for glory. So lift your head. Wipe the grief from your spirit. You are not the victim of abandonment. You are the recipient of divine realignment. And soon, what you once feared losing will pale in comparison to what you are about to receive. I am the restorer, but I am also the revealer. And now, I am doing both. You're not just about to recover, you're about to understand. The subtraction was sacred, and the surplus is coming. Listen closely, child. There are moments in the spirit when your name is spoken long before you ever step into the room, long before the phone rings, long before the email lands, long before the opportunity arrives. And right now, this is one of those moments. I have whispered your name, not as a suggestion, but as a solution. I have marked you not only with my spirit, but with strategy. Heaven had been orchestrating something on your behalf, moving pieces, ranging conversations, shifting hearts. While you were wondering if anyone saw your quiet faithfulness, I was broadcasting your name into places your feet have not yet walked. You've been praying for elevation, waiting for visibility. And I'm telling you now, it's already happening. You didn't need to push for it. You didn't need to promote yourself. That's why I trust you with it. While others were chasing platforms, you were building altars. While others were trying to be seen, you chose to be still. And now, I am rewarding what I saw in secret. Your name is rising, not for popularity, but for purpose. You're not about to be elevated to impress man. You're about to be elevated to influence nations. This is beyond career. This is beyond fame. This is kingdom assignment. I am setting your name before kings. Not because you're the most qualified, but because you're the most consecrated. You didn't just ask me for a blessing, you became a vessel. And now, I'm about to fill you with fire and favor and send you into places that never had you on their list. But I had you on my scroll. Child, do not be surprised when you're invited to sit at tables you never campaigned for. Do not shrink back when the door opens into rooms that once intimidated you. Do not second-guess the open heavens just because you didn't open the door yourself. I am the one unlocking this. I am the one exalting you in due season. And this, right now, is the due season. You'll begin to see confirmation. A random call. A sudden shift. And I have started with a mundane. People speaking your name in decision-making moments, not out of flattery, but out of divine prompting. I've positioned your name like a seed in the soil of influence. And now the harvest is breaking through. So walk with confidence. Not arrogance, confidence. The holy kind. The kind that knows who sent you. The kind that doesn't apologize for being chosen. The kind that shows up in every room knowing heaven has already endorsed what earth is about to witness. You're not forcing favor. You're walking in prophecy. And your name, child, your name has already been heard. You're next. I know you've been feeling it, the weight. It sits heavy in your chest, presses down on your spirit, and lingers in your thoughts like a cloud you can't quite shake. It's more than busyness. It's more than fatigue. It's the pressure. And you've asked, why do I feel like this? Why does it feel so intense lately? You've wondered if something is wrong with you, if maybe you're not strong enough, not spiritual enough, not prayed up enough. But hear me now, with clarity and compassion. This pressure is not punishment. It's a sign of promise. You are carrying something weighty. You are housing something holy. And the pressure is not crushing you, it's crowning you. Let me speak directly to your soul. What you're feeling is the tension between who you've been and who you're becoming. It's the spiritual stretch of carrying a glory your old identity cannot contain. You're not unraveling, you're expanding. Just like a womb expands before birth, your spirit is stretching to make room for the magnitude of what I've placed inside you. And yes, it's uncomfortable. Yes, it feels like everything is shifting, because it is. But the shift isn't your downfall, it's your delivery. This pressure is evidence that something powerful is about to be born from your life. It's the atmosphere of birthing, the environment of divine concision. And I'm not asking you to carry it alone. I'm asking you to partner with me in it. Don't run from the pressure. Don't silence it with distractions. Don't suppress it with false strength. Bring it to me. Let me breathe into the places that feel tight, strained, overwhelmed. You don't need to pretend it's easy. You just need to know it's worth it. Because the oil that's about to flow from this weight will be unlike anything you've seen before. This is costly glory. This is destiny under pressure. And the reason it feels heavier now is because you're closer than ever to the moment of release. You're not crazy. You're not weak. You're not doing anything wrong. You're just carrying something significant. And significance always comes with pressure. So I speak peace over you now, not the absence of weight, but the presence of wisdom. Wisdom to discern what's birthing and what's breaking. Wisdom to rest in the pressure, knowing it's producing purpose. And most of all, wisdom to recognize that this is not the end, it's the crowning moment. You're not being crushed. You're being crowned. Your pain is not pointless. Your heaviness is not hopeless. This is the pressure that precedes promise. And I'm right here with you, pressing my hand to your back, whispering with unwavering love, push. You're almost there. Let me settle something deep in you right now, once and for all. You didn't miss it. You haven't blown it. You haven't ruined your chance. I know the shame that has whispered in the back of your mind. I know the thoughts that loop like a broken record. If I had just been more obedient, if I hadn't walked away, if I hadn't hesitated, maybe I'd already be living in the promise. And that thought, no matter how convincing it feels, is not from me. That is the voice of condemnation, and I do not speak in shame. I speak in redemption. And I tell you this now as your God, your Father, your Redeemer. You haven't missed the moment. What I have for you is still intact, still alive, still on its way, because my timing doesn't just accommodate your progress. It includes your healing. You see, my plans are not fragile. They don't break under the weight of your detours. They don't dissolve because of your delays. I knew exactly where you'd pause. I knew where your heart would need to mend. I factored in your questions, your recovery, your healing process. And I didn't write your destiny on dry erase board. I wrote it on the eternal scroll of heaven, inked in grace, sealed in covenant. So no, you didn't miss your moment. You simply needed time, not just to prepare, but to be made whole. Because what I'm bringing you into isn't just about impact, it's about integration. I don't want you showing up at your promise limping in your spirit. I want you whole. And that's what this in-between space has been doing, healing the fractures, aligning your heart, fortifying your soul. And now, here's the holy truth. The moment isn't behind you. It's ahead of you. The doors haven't closed. They've been held open by my mercy. The window of opportunity hasn't passed. It's hovering, waiting for your readiness to match its weight. And now, we're getting there. Totally. Beautifully. Fully. You'll know when it arrives. Not because you'll feel perfectly ready, but because the atmosphere will shift. And this time, you won't run. You won't flinch. You won't question if you're worthy. You'll step in, not as someone trying to earn it, but as someone who knows they've been graced for it. Because it was never about your flawless execution. It was always about your faithful return. So breathe again. Lift your head. The enemy wanted you to drown in regret, to bury your expectation under the rubble of self-doubt. But I'm resurrecting hope. I'm reviving dreams. I'm realigning timelines. This is not over. This is not late. This is perfectly aligned. You didn't miss the moment. And what's for you, what has your name etched into it, will not pass you. Not because of who you are, but because of who I am. I am faithful. I am patient. I am redemptive. And I am still writing the story. Get ready. Your moment is moving toward you even now. You've been holding on, haven't you? Quietly. Fiercely. Silently. You've held on to that chapter in your life like a lifeline, because somewhere deep down, you believed it defined you. Whether it was a relationship, a position, a moment in time when things seemed clear, or maybe it was the version of yourself you once were, the version you liked better than the one standing in the mirror now. That season, that title, that old rhythm. You didn't mean to idolize it, but it became the measure by which you judged everything after. And so now, even as I try to pull you forward, you find yourself anchored by what once was, bound not by chains of sin but by threads of memory. My beloved, that chapter was never the end of your story. It wasn't your final line. It wasn't your identity. It was a page. And I am the author. And I am writing a better one. I know it hurts. Letting go is never sterile. It's messy. Emotional. It comes in waves. You think you've moved on until a smell, a song, a silence pulls you back into it. That's because you weren't just mourning the past. You were mourning a version of yourself that felt safer, clearer, more in control. But here's what you don't see. You've outgrown that chapter. You expanded beyond it. That season could no longer carry the weight of who you are becoming. And I, your God, your Father, your Redeemer, I couldn't let you stay there. So yes, I close it. Not because I was punishing you, but because I was preserving you. If I had left you there, your roots would have wrapped around what was comfortable and never reached for the deeper waters I've destined for you. This isn't rejection, it's redirection. This isn't the end, it's the turning point. I am writing a chapter that doesn't erase your past, but redeems it. I'm not discarding what happened, I'm placing it in proper context, because that season taught you something. It forged something, but it is not your whole identity. And until you let go of it, you won't be able to carry what's coming next. You cannot walk into resurrection while clinging to graves. And child, hear me clearly, what I'm writing next will not compete with what you lost. It will surpass it. In power, in peace, in intimacy, in joy. I'm not giving you a lesser life. I'm giving you the real one. The one that was always written in the scroll of heaven, long before pain entered your timeline. To let go, not with guilt, but with grace. I know it's hard, but I'm helping you. With every tear, I am loosening the grip. With every surrender, I'm flipping the page. And very soon, you will read the next line and realize this is the beginning of everything you were born for. Trust the author. I never end on despair. I never close with confusion. I always write in hope. I always write in glory. And child, I'm not done writing you. Child, let's talk about significance, real, eternal, heaven-breathed significance. Because I see the way you've questioned your impact. I've watched you in the quiet, wondering if your yes even matters. You see others shining, being celebrated, receiving opportunities, and there's that small ache that whispers, did I miss it? Am I behind? Am I even making a difference? And though you silence the thought, it returns. Because what you're really asking isn't about fame, it's about worth. And so let me say this, with thunder in my voice and gentleness in my eyes, you do not need a spotlight to be significant. You've already been seen, already been chosen, already been marked by heaven. And the weight of your obedience, even when no one sees it, is shaking realms. Do you realize what happens in the spirit every time you obey me in secret? Every time you forgive without applause? Every time you choose purity over popularity? Every time you intercede for someone who will never know your name? That obedience, it doesn't vanish into the void. It thunders in eternity. It writes your legacy. It builds altars. You've been living in obscurity, but obscurity is not absence. It's incubation. I've hidden you, not because you're unimportant, but because you're invaluable. You've been growing under my hand, protected from premature exposure, because what I'm placing inside you cannot be rushed. And when the time is right, and it is coming, I will lift the veil. But even if no stage ever comes, your obedience has already changed history. Because you weren't made for applause, you were made for impact. And impact often happens in silence, in kitchens, in prayer closets, in midnight tears, in faithful routines. And I, the God who sees in secret, have been watching it all. You're not invisible to me. You are radiant. You are resounding. You are mighty in my kingdom. And though the world may not hand you trophies, heaven has already crowned you with honor. You walk in favor, not because of who knows your name, but because of who named you. And I named you faithful, anointed, chosen, my delight. So don't diminish your worth because the lights haven't found you. You are not a background character in someone else's story. You are a central figure in mine. And your faithfulness, your obedience, your consistency, they are not small. They are seismic. They are legacy-making. And when you reach eternity, You will see the ripple effect. You'll see how your yes in the shadows shifted destinies. To hold your head high. Walk with quiet confidence. You don't need a stage to carry glory. You are the stage upon which my presence rests. Heaven sees. Heaven knows. And I am proud of you. So proud. Even now. My beloved child, pause for a moment and take a deep breath. Yes, right now. Let the war within you still itself, because I need to speak peace into the places that have been raging in silence. I see how hard you've been fighting. I see the hours spent in strategy, in self-correction, in overthinking every decision as if the weight of the entire outcome rested solely on your shoulders. I see the strain in your spirit, the white-knuckled grip you've kept around problems you couldn't solve and people you couldn't change. You've been trying to hold the line, trying to hold yourself together, trying to be strong for everyone else. But listen to me, child. This battle is not yours. It never was. You've exhausted yourself trying to win a war I already secured. The outcome has never been in question. Not to me. I didn't need your perfection. I needed your posture. Come back into my presence, not as a soldier reporting failure, but as a child returning home. Your striving has worn you down, and it's not because you're weak. It's because you were never meant to sustain victory by effort. Victory is not the result of your performance. It's the fruit of my promise. And I've already declared it. You win. Not maybe. Not eventually. Not if you figure everything out. No, child. You win, because I already did. I disarmed every force that rises against you. I silence every accusation. I broke every curse. I opened every gate. What's left now is not for you to manufacture victory, but to move from it. Not to war for approval, but to walk in authority. The blood already spoke. The cross already conquered. The grave is already empty. What are you still carrying that I already crushed? This is not about giving up. It's about giving over. Giving over the need to micromanage what I've already mastered. Giving over the lies that tell you you're losing because it still hurts. Giving over the fear that says if you don't fight hard enough, everything will fall apart. No, not on my watch. You are not falling apart. You are falling into alignment. I surrounded you with angels. I've sealed you with grace. I've stationed my spirit inside you as the down payment of every promised victory. And while it may look like you're in the middle of the battle, I need you to hear the sound of finality in my voice. Divinity. So let your hands fall, not in surrender to defeat, but in release to divine strategy. Watch what happens when you stop trying to fix what I've already finalized. Let me show you what it means to fight from victory, not for it. Let me lead the charge. Let me silence the enemy with a whisper. You'll find that the battle was never about proving your strength. It was always about positioning your faith. And now, victory will no longer be something you chase. It will be something you carry. Because you've already been marked by triumph. Now walk in it. Lean in close, because I'm not just doing something for you. I'm doing something through you. You've cried out for breakthrough, and yes, it is here. But I need you to understand, this is more than just relief. This is more than your situation finally shifting. This is divine reversal, a supernatural turning of the tide, a holy flipping of what the enemy meant to destroy you with. I'm not just canceling the assignment of darkness. I'm redeeming it into generational light. What once looked like the evidence of your curse is about to become the foundation of your legacy. Let me take you back, for just a moment, not to hurt you but to show you my hand. Remember the moment it all turned against you. The diagnosis, the betrayal, the storm that came out of nowhere and knocked the breath out of your lungs. The days when you said, "This can't be redeemed, this is too far gone." Those were the very areas the enemy celebrated, thinking he had struck a fatal blow. But he didn't know. I was already weaving victory into the very threads of your suffering. He tried to break you, but he only revealed the gold I'd hidden inside you. He tried to silence your voice, but he only provoked your roar. He tried to destroy your name, but he didn't realize I was rebranding you in fire. And now, child, I speak with prophetic fire. The reversal has begun. Where there was barrenness, I will bring birth. Where there was betrayal, I will birth belonging. Where there was loss, I will restore legacy. Not in equal measure, but pressed down, shaken together, and running over. Because this isn't just about you. This is about your bloodline, your children, your children's children, and every generation that comes from your obedience. The very place the enemy attacked is the place I will anoint. Your family will not inherit your pain. They will inherit your promise. The curses are being broken. The cycles are being shattered. The tables are being turned. And your name is being remembered not for what you survived, but for the glory that came through your survival. So lift your eyes. Get your hopes up. You're not just coming out of this, you're coming out transformed. This isn't just a comeback. It's a covenant revival. And when it's done, you'll look back not with bitterness but with awe. You'll say, "Look what the Lord has done, not just in me, but through me, for every generation tied to my yes." The enemy overplayed his hand. And now, heaven is writing a reversal so undeniable that it will make even your enemies testify. This is more than breakthrough. This is divine recompense. And it starts now. You feel it, don't you? That inner pull. That quiet trembling in your spirit. You can't fully explain it, but you know. Something is different. You step into a moment unlike any you've ever known before. It feels surreal, sacred, unfamiliar. And it should. Because, my beloved, this is the threshold. This is the divine edge where one season ends and another explodes into motion. This is not just another morning, another chapter, another prayer whispered in the dark. This is the crossing over, the hinge between what was and what will be. The turning point heaven has been orchestrating, rehearsing, and aligning for far longer than you even realized. And now, it's here. Everything changes from this point forward. Don't minimize it. Don't rationalize it. Don't talk yourself out of it with false humility or fear of disappointment. Oh, honor the moment. This is holy ground. And the trembling you feel inside is not anxiety. It's recognition. Your spirit knows what your mind can't yet comprehend, that this is fulfillment. This is prophecy turning into presence, promise shifting into possession. You're not just hoping for it anymore. You're touching it. I've watched you in the waiting. I've wept with you in the wilderness. I've marked every step, every silent surrender, every private obedience that brought you to this exact edge. And now I'm saying to you, step over. This isn't a subtle shift. This is a divine upheaval. Old patterns will break. Old fears will dissolve. Old battles will end, not because you fought harder, but because the season for that fight is finished. You've graduated. You've crossed the unseen line between survival and supernatural fulfillment. I'm not just answering prayers. I'm revealing identity. I'm confirming what you've long suspected but were afraid to claim, that you were always called for more. And now, more is arriving. not incrementally, not in drips, in waves. Blessings will come that you didn't ask for. Favor will find you before you introduce yourself. Acceleration will overtake you, not because you hustled, but because you obeyed. This is the fruit of covenant, not performance. So step boldly. Step barefoot. Step with reverence. You are crossing into legacy now. You are entering territory reserved for those who stayed faithful in obscurity. And from this moment forward, everything you touch will echo with divine fingerprints. People will look at you and sense the shift, even if they don't have words for it. Atmospheres will bow. Rooms will change. And you, my child, you will never be the same again. You've reached the threshold. You've obeyed the process. You've endured the fire. And now, the gates are open. The crossing has begun. Walk through it, not as the person you were, but as the person I always knew you were becoming. This is not just another day. This is the divine arrival. You just crossed over, my child. The threshold has been breached, and nothing will be the same. Now hear me clearly. The moment you've received was sacred, and it's meant to be multiplied. There are others still standing on the edge, waiting for a voice to call them forward. Be that voice. When you give, you don't just support a mission. You send my word like arrows into hearts across the earth. How beautiful are the feet of those who bring good news, Romans 10:15. And now, your feet are part of that sending. Support this prophetic mission now through Super Thanks membership, or the PayPal link in the description. Don't hesitate. Act immediately. Help carry this good news to every soul I'm calling home. And now, my child, let your voice echo what your spirit already knows. If his word stirred something eternal inside you, don't stay silent. Declare it now in the comments below. I receive the good news. My divine moment is here. Let heaven hear it. Let the earth record it. Let the enemy know he's too late. Your agreement activates alignment, and what you release in faith, I will seal in fire. This is not just a video. It's a visitation. So mark this moment with your declaration. Say it loud, and say it like it's already yours. And as you declare it, pause with me. My child, before you do anything else, just listen. Let the noise of your day fall away for a moment. I want to speak to that place in your heart that feels hurried and uncertain, the part of you that is bracing for the next demand, the next challenge. Breathe in. Let my presence be the air that fills your lungs. I have good news for you, and I want you to open it right now. Right here in this quiet moment between us. My beloved, I need you to understand something that is more real than the ground beneath your feet or the worries in your mind. My love for you is not a fleeting emotion. It is not like the shifting opinions of people or the temporary success you chase. It is an eternal, foundational truth. It is the very beginning of your story. Long before you were formed in your mother's womb, before your first heartbeat echoed in the silence, I knew you. I knew the sound of your voice. I knew every hope you would ever hold and every tear you would ever cry. And I loved you. Not for what you would do or what you would become, but simply because you were mine. I see how hard you strive. I see you measuring your worth by your accomplishments, by your productivity, by how well you hold everything together. You believe, in the quiet moments of the night, that my affection for you rises and falls with your performance. You feel the pressure to be righteous, to be perfect, to earn the love you so desperately crave. But listen to my heart now. You do not have to earn what has always been yours. My love for you was settled before you took your first step. It is not a reward for your strength or a prize for your victories. It is a constant, a given, A love that holds you just as securely on your worst day as it does on your best. I know you feel the distance sometimes. In your moments of failure or shame, you feel as though you have wandered so far that you are beyond my reach. You feel like you are at the bottom of a deep canyon, and my voice is just a faint echo. But hear this truth: there is no height of success that can elevate you beyond my love, and there is no depth of despair that can separate you from it. No mistake, no failure, no darkness, nothing in all of creation can sever the bond I have forged with you. Even when you feel most lost, my love is a relentless, gentle current, always pulling you back to me, always drawing you home. It doesn't break down the walls you build, it simply seeps through them, surrounding you until you remember where you belong. Let this truth sink in. That fear of being abandoned, the insecurity that whispers you are not enough, that is not from me. That is a lie from a world that doesn't understand perfect love. My love casts out fear. It doesn't just soothe it, it expels it. Open your heart now and feel it. Feel my love wrapping around you, a perfect peace that says you are safe, you are seen, and you are mine forever. My child, I want you to look at the world around you for a moment. See the rush, the noise, the endless stream of people striving to be noticed, to make their mark. It is so easy to feel like a drop of water in a vast ocean, a single grain of sand on an endless shore, completely anonymous and insignificant. You look at your life and you see a series of chances and accidents, of fortunate breaks and unfortunate turns. But that is the world's story, not mine. Listen to me. You are not a cosmic accident. You are not the product of random chance. Before the foundations of the world were laid, before the first star was hung in the heavens, I chose you. I saw you, I knew you, and I called you by name. Your existence is an act of my deliberate, loving will. I have called you out of darkness. You know this darkness, don't you? It is the fog of confusion, the shadow of fear, the heavy gloom of a life without purpose. You have felt it. But I have called you into my marvelous light, and this was not a casual invitation. It was for a divine purpose, a reason that is woven into the very fabric of your being. You are now part of a royal priesthood, a holy nation. Think about what that means. You are royalty. Not in the way the world understands it, with fleeting power and temporary crowns, but in the eternal sense. You belong to my family. You are my own special possession. Your value is not determined by your job title, your bank account, or the approval of others. Those are just flimsy labels the world tries to stick on you. Your true identity, the one that can never be shaken or taken away, is this: you are a child of the Most High God. Do you ever feel forgotten? Do you ever feel like your prayers are bouncing off the ceiling, that you are just a face in the crowd to me? Let me quiet that fear for you right now. I have inscribed your name on the palms of my hands. It is not written in fading ink, but etched permanently where I can always see it. You are never out of my sight, never forgotten, never overlooked. Every step you take, every path you walk, even the ones that seem crooked and confusing, was prepared for you in advance. I have laid out a journey for you, one filled with good works to do in my name. The very ground you are standing on is holy ground because I have purposed for you to be there. So, release the lie that you are just another person. You have been chosen, set apart, and remembered by the King of the universe. This is your true identity. Walk in it. Now, as you hear these truths, that you are loved and chosen, I can feel the objection rising in your heart. It's a familiar, heavy feeling, isn't it? The memory of your past mistakes, the shame that clings to you like a shadow. You think, How can I be chosen and holy when I have done such things? When I carry so much guilt? My precious child, come closer. Let's talk about that weight you are carrying. The debt of your sin, every mistake, every failure, every moment of rebellion. It has been paid in full. The verdict of guilty that you keep placing on yourself has been overturned by me. You are no longer condemned. The gavel has fallen, not in judgment, but in mercy. I want you to imagine the heaviest burden you carry, that one mistake you keep replaying in your mind. See it for what it is. And now, listen to my promise. I have taken that transgression and all the others and removed them from you as far as the east is from the west. This isn't a small distance. It's an immeasurable, infinite separation. They are gone. My mercy does not just compete with judgment. It triumphs over it every single time you turn your heart toward me. And here is a truth that is difficult for the human mind to grasp. When I forgive, I choose to remember your sins no more. It's not that I have a faulty memory. It is a divine, intentional act of love. I choose to see you not through the filter of your past failures, but through the perfect sacrifice of my Son. Because of this, you are now clothed in righteousness. When I look at you, I do not see a person stained by sin. I see someone who is holy and blameless in my sight. This is not a future goal for you to achieve. It is your present reality. And this forgiveness, this grace, is not a one-time event that you can use up. It's not a single cup of water for a lifetime of thirst. It is a continuous, unending stream. Every morning, my mercies are new. Every time you stumble, the stream of grace is there to wash you clean again. So, stop carrying that heavy bag of guilt on your shoulders. Lay it down. It does not belong to you anymore. Walk in the freedom of a soul that has been completely, utterly, and eternally forgiven. This is my good news for you. Because you are washed clean, something profound has happened. It's more than just being pardoned. You have been remade. The old you, the one who was bound by fear and defined by past mistakes, has passed away. Look now, listen with your spirit. All things have become new. This is not just a poetic phrase. It is your spiritual reality. You are no longer a slave to sin, held captive by old habits and destructive patterns. That is the identity of your past. Your new identity, the one you carry today, is a child of the Most High King. You have been adopted into my family, and you carry my name. This changes everything. As my child, you are a co-heir with Christ. Think of the most incredible inheritance you can imagine on earth: wealth, property, power. It all pales in comparison to what is yours. You are destined to share in an eternal inheritance, one that will never perish, spoil, or fade. Your true home, your ultimate citizenship, is in heaven. And while you are on this earth, you are an ambassador of my kingdom. An ambassador is a trusted representative, someone who speaks and acts on behalf of their king. That is who you are. In your workplace, in your family, in your neighborhood, you carry my authority and my message of love. I have given you a new name, a new identity that reflects my promises and your destiny. The world may call you by your old names: failure, unworthy, anxious, broken, but I call you by your new names: righteous, beloved, courageous, whole. This is who you are now. And to seal this new identity, I have made you a temple. My own Holy Spirit has come to dwell within you. My glory, the very essence of my presence, lives inside of you. Your body is a sacred space. So, stop identifying with the person you used to be. That person is gone. Embrace the new creation that you are. You are a royal child, a heavenly ambassador, and a walking temple of my glory. Live out this new, breathtaking identity I have given you. My child, this new identity I have given you is not a heavy burden you must carry alone. It is not a list of rules you must follow in your own strength to prove you are worthy. The very proof of your new identity is this unshakable promise. I will never leave you nor forsake you. Not for a single moment. I am not a God who is only present on Sundays or during your quiet times of prayer. I am the God of your Mondays, your chaotic commutes, your difficult meetings, and your sleepless nights. There is no place you can go where I am not. Whether you find yourself on the highest mountain, celebrating a victory, and feeling close to heaven, I am there, cheering with you. And when you are in the deepest, darkest valley, facing a trial that crushes your spirit, I am there, holding you, catching your tears. My presence does not just follow you, it goes before you. I am already in your tomorrow, making the crooked paths straight, preparing the way for you. You do not have to fear the unknown, because the God who knows all things is already there, waiting for you. In the moments of stillness, when the world is quiet, you can feel me. But do not believe the lie that I am absent in the chaos. In the midst of the storm, in the noise of your life, I am the calm center. You do not walk this journey alone. The world is full of fair-weather friends who are with you in the good times, but disappear when things get difficult. I am not like that. I am your constant companion, your closest confidant. You can talk to me about anything, at any time. There is no thought you have, no feeling you experience, that I do not understand. And to guarantee this promise, I have placed my spirit within you as a seal. He is my personal guarantee to you of my constant, unwavering presence from this very moment until the end of the age. You are never, ever alone. My child, stay with me. You have just felt the truth of my presence, but do not turn away now. It would grieve my spirit if you were to leave this conversation before I can show you the strength I provide in your weakness and the peace that will guard your heart. I am pouring myself out for you. Stay and receive all of it. Now I know what you are thinking. If you are always with me, why do I feel so weak? Why do I get so tired and overwhelmed? My beloved, do not be discouraged by your limitations. In fact, it is in those very limitations that my power is best displayed. My power is made perfect in your weakness. The world tells you to hide your weaknesses, to pretend you are strong at all times. But I am telling you to bring your weaknesses to me. Your exhaustion, your frustration, your feeling of not being enough. These are the very places where my strength can rush in and fill you. When you feel you cannot take another step, when your energy is gone and you are tempted to give up, that is when I will carry you. Stop trying to do everything in your own strength. You were never designed to. You were designed to depend on me. I am the source of everlasting strength. The Bible says that those who wait on me, who hope in me, shall renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not be faint. This is not just a pretty poem. It is a promise for you, for your weary soul today. You can do all things. Face that difficult task. Have that hard conversation. Endure this trial, not because you are so capable, but because Christ who lives in you strengthens you from within. My grace is not just for your salvation. It is a sufficient and unending supply of power for every single challenge you face. It never runs out. Think of me as your fortress, a place of absolute safety when life feels like a battlefield. Think of me as your shield, protecting you from the attacks that come your way. I am a very present help in times of trouble. So, stop being ashamed of your weakness. Stop seeing it as a failure. Instead, see it as an invitation for my strength to become your own. Let go of the strain, and let me be strong for you. My child, I see you. I see you chasing a moment of quiet, a brief pause in the relentless noise inside your own head. You search for peace in a completed to-do list, in a quiet house after everyone is asleep, in a moment of distraction, hoping that if you can just get everything under control, then you will finally feel calm. But that is the world's version of peace, a fragile, temporary ceasefire that depends entirely on your circumstances being perfect. It is a peace that shatters the moment the phone rings with bad news or an unexpected bill arrives in the mail. The peace I give you is nothing like that. It is a peace that the world cannot give, and because it does not give it, it cannot take it away. It is a peace that guards your heart and your mind, standing like a faithful soldier at the gate of your soul, refusing entry to anxiety and turmoil. This is my gift to you, a divine tranquility that is not the absence of the storm, but my undeniable presence with you in the middle of it. I want you to picture the anxieties you are carrying. See them as heavy, jagged stones in your hands. There is the stone of your financial future, heavy with the fear of not enough. There is the stone of your family, worrying about your children or your parents. There is the stone of your health, of that unspoken conflict at work, of the future you cannot see. You have been carrying these for so long. Your hands are raw and your back aches from the strain. Now, hear my invitation. Cast all your anxieties upon me. Do not just think about them. I want you to actively, intentionally, hand them over. One by one. Give me the worry about next month's rent. Place the fear of what others think of you into my hands. Release the hurt from that old wound. Why? Because I care for you. Deeply. This is not a burden you were ever meant to carry alone. My shoulders are broad enough for all of it. Let me take the weight so you can finally stand up straight, so you can breathe again. I will keep in perfect peace the one whose mind is steadfastly focused on me. This is the secret, my beloved. When the waves of worry begin to crash against you, you must choose where to fix your gaze. Do not stare at the waves. Look at me. When the what-if starts screaming for your attention, turn the focus of your mind back to me, to my promises, to my unchanging love. Let my peace rule in your heart. Let it be the final authority, the divine umpire that settles the chaotic arguments in your soul. This is not something you have to strive for. It is something you receive. Open your hands, release the stones, and receive my peace right now. It is your inheritance from the Prince of Peace himself. I know that feeling, my child. That paralyzing feeling of standing at a crossroads, with a dozen different paths stretching out into a thick, impenetrable fog. You are terrified of making the wrong choice, of taking a step that will lead to regret. The world shouts advice from every direction. Do this. No, do that. Follow your heart. Be practical. And the noise is deafening, leaving you more confused than when you started. You feel you must have all the answers before you can move, but you have none. This is where you must learn to lean on me. You do not need to have all the answers, because you know the one who does. I am the great navigator of your soul. I see the entire map, not just the foggy patch in front of you. I know the destination, and I know the safest and best route to get you there. My promise to you is this. I will instruct you and teach you in the way you should go. I will counsel you with my loving eye on you. My gaze upon you is not one of judgment, looking for a misstep. It is the watchful eye of a loving guide, scanning the path ahead for dangers to avoid and opportunities to embrace. I have not left you without tools for this journey. First, you have my word. Think of it as a lamp for your feet. Notice, it is not a stadium floodlight that illuminates the entire journey from beginning to end. It is a lamp. It provides just enough light for the very next step. So many times, you refuse to take the step that is illuminated because you are demanding to see the next 10 steps. That is not faith. Faith is trusting the light you have for the step you need to take right now. Walk in the light I have given you today, and I will provide the light for tomorrow when it comes. Your second tool is my Spirit within you. He is the helper. He does not always shout. Most often, he is the quiet whisper, the gentle nudge, the check in your spirit that says, wait, or the unexplainable peace that says, this way. You must learn to tune your ear to his frequency, to quiet the other voices so you can hear his. And what is your part in all of this? Trust in me with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways, in the big decisions and the small ones, in the email you are about to send, in the conversation you are about to have, acknowledge me. Invite me into the process. This is your part. When you do this, I promise I will make your path straight. It is not a suggestion. It is a divine guarantee. You provide the trust, and I will provide the direction. Step out of the paralysis of indecision and take the next small step in faith, knowing I am guiding you. My child, let me speak plainly about the enemy that stalks you, that steals your peace and paralyzes your heart. Let us name it fear. I need you to know, with every fiber of your being, that this spirit of fear is not from me. That constant, low-grade anxiety, that knot in your stomach, that sense of impending doom, that panic that wakes you in the middle of the night, I did not give that to you. It is a counterfeit gift from the enemy of your soul. My gift to you is entirely different. What I have given you is a spirit of power, a spirit of love, and a spirit of a sound, calm, well-balanced mind. This is your true inheritance. Anything else is an intruder, an illegal trespasser in the temple of your heart where my spirit dwells. You must learn to see fear for what it is, a liar. It is a bully that whispers terrible things in the dark, but it has no real authority over you. Fear magnifies the shadows and minimizes me. Fear screams, what if you fail? While I whisper, my power is perfected in your weakness. Fear tells you, you are all alone in this, while I promise, I will never leave you, nor forsake you. Fear paralyzes you with an endless reel of worst-case scenarios, but my truth, the living, active truth you are hearing right now, is the key that unlocks that prison door and sets you free. You have a choice. You can listen to the lies of the liar, or you can listen to the truth of your Father. They cannot both occupy the same space in your mind. So, what do you do when fear comes knocking, when its cold grip begins to tighten around your heart? You do not fight it in your own strength. You run to me. I am your refuge, your high tower, a place of perfect safety where the enemy cannot reach you. When you pass through the waters of overwhelming circumstances, I will be with you. When you walk through the rivers of grief or financial hardship, you will not be swept away. When you face the fire of criticism or affliction, you will not be burned. Why? Because I am with you. The one who is in you, my very spirit, is infinitely greater than the fear that is in the world. So, stand firm. When you feel afraid, actively turn your gaze to me. Look to me, and your face will become radiant, shining with a holy confidence that leaves no room for the shadows of fear or the shame it brings. Declare this over your soul. Fear, you are a liar, and you have no hold on me. My God has not given me a spirit of fear, but of power, and of love, and of a sound mind. I hear the anxious questions that circle in your mind, especially late at night when the world is quiet. Will I have enough? How will I pay this bill? What if I lose my job? How will I provide for my family? These worries about provision can feel like a heavy blanket, smothering your joy and your trust. I want to lift that blanket from you now. Hear my name. I am Jehovah Jireh. It is not just a title, it is a promise. I am the Lord who provides. This is my nature. It is who I am. Your provision is not a matter of luck or your own striving. It is a matter of my faithful commitment to you. I want you to step outside in your imagination. Consider the birds of the air. They do not sow or reap or store away in barns, yet I, your heavenly Father, feed them. Are you not so much more valuable than they? Of course you are. Look at the lilies of the field, how they grow. They do not labor or spin, yet not even the wealthiest king in all his splendor was dressed like one of these. If that is how I clothe the grass of the field, which is here today and tomorrow is thrown into the fire, will I not much more clothe you, my precious child? Your worry accomplishes nothing except to steal your peace. It cannot add a single hour to your life or a single penny to your bank account. Your striving born of fear is not the source of your supply. I am. So what is your part? It is simple, yet it requires a radical reordering of your priorities. Seek first my kingdom and my righteousness. This means making my will, my ways, and my presence the number one priority of your life, above your career, above your financial planning, above your worries. Put me first in your time, your thoughts, your decisions, and your resources. When you do this, my promise is absolute. All these things, the food, the clothes, the resources, the very things you are worrying about, will be added unto you. I am able to do exceedingly, abundantly more than all you could ask or even imagine. Your imagination of what you need is limited. My resources are not. My promise is to supply all your needs, not some of them, not most of them, but all of them. And I do not supply them according to the state of the economy or the size of your paycheck. I supply your needs according to my glorious riches in Christ Jesus. There is no shortage in my storehouse. Your daily bread is my responsibility. Your task is to trust, to seek me first, and to walk in the assurance that your provider will never fail you. My beloved, I have laid my promises of provision and guidance before you. Do not let this be all you receive from me today. My heart yearns to reveal the joy that will turn your mourning into dancing and to explain the immense power that now dwells within you. To stop listening now is to leave the greatest gifts unwrapped. It would wound me deeply. Look at your life. Look at the pace you keep, the burdens you carry, the endless striving to keep up, to perform, to achieve. You are so tired. I can see the weariness deep in your soul, a fatigue that no amount of sleep can seem to cure. You are weary from carrying burdens you were never meant to carry, and you are burdened by the heavy yoke of the world's expectations. So listen, right now, to the most gentle and powerful invitation in the universe. It is from me to you. Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. This is not a suggestion. It is a promise. I do not offer a temporary break or a short vacation. I offer true, deep, soul-level rest. I lead you beside still waters. I restore your soul. Your soul needs restoration. It has been battered by the storms of life, drained by worry, and wounded by conflict. It needs the quiet, healing presence of its shepherd. Let me lead you there. Cease from your own striving and know that I am God. That is the essence of this rest. It is the conscious decision to stop trying to control everything, to stop trying to fix everyone, to stop trying to be your own God. It is the peaceful surrender of acknowledging that I am on the throne, I am in control, and you are safe in my hands. There remains a Sabbath rest for the people of God, and it is found not in a day of the week, but in a state of the heart. It is a rest found in trusting my finished work. You do not have to work to earn my love or my salvation. It is done. You can rest from the labor of self-justification. My son said, "Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for my yoke is easy and my burden is light." The world places a heavy, crushing yoke on you, the yoke of performance, of perfectionism, of fear. My yoke is different. It is the yoke of grace of Leviticus. It is easy and light because when you are yoked to me, I am the one pulling the weight. Your part is simply to walk alongside me. In returning to me and resting in me, you will be saved. In quietness and in trust shall be your strength. Stop the frantic rush. Stop the cycle of worry. Come to me now. Lay down the heavy burdens. Let me lift them from you. Let me lead you to the still waters. Let me restore your weary soul. This is not a sign of weakness. It is the ultimate source of your strength. Come, and I will give you rest. I have not brought you this far to abandon you in your sorrow. I am the God who is close to the broken-hearted, and I save those who are crushed in spirit. Do not think for a moment that I am distant from your pain or unmoved by your tears. I see the ache in your soul, the silent grief that you carry when no one else is looking. It might be the sharp pain of loss, the dull throb of disappointment, or the heavy weight of a dream that has died. Your heart has been broken, and you wonder if it will ever feel whole again, if the color will ever return to your world. You have mourned, and I have sat with you in that mourning. But that is not where your story ends. I am here to give you a promise, a divine truth that defies the logic of grief. Blessed are those who mourn, for they shall be comforted. This is not a possibility, it is a certainty. Your comfort is my personal mission. You have heard it said that weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. This is more than a hopeful sentiment. It is a spiritual law I have set in motion. Your current season of sorrow is a night. It feels long, dark, and lonely. But just as surely as the sun will rise in the sky, the morning of my joy is coming for you. It is already on the horizon. I am the one who commands the dawn, and I am commanding a new dawn for your heart. I am not just going to patch you up or help you move on. I am going to perform a great exchange, a divine trade. The promise is this: I will give you a crown of beauty instead of ashes. Think about what ashes represent: the burnt-out remains of what was lost, the gritty symbol of devastation and finality. You are holding a fistful of ashes, but I am asking you to open your hand, to release those ashes, and to let me place a crown of beauty on your head. I am redeeming your pain. I am not ignoring it or dismissing it. I am using it. I am taking the very thing that was meant to destroy you and I am turning it into the foundation of your most profound testimony. The story does not end in tragedy. It ends in triumph, because I am the author, and I am turning your mourning into dancing. It will not just be the absence of pain. It will be the active, vibrant, undeniable expression of a joy that has been resurrected from the grave of your sorrow. My child, just as I have turned your mourning into dancing, I now anoint you to be a carrier of my joy to a world shrouded in sorrow. If your heart now burns with a holy fire to see this good news reach another soul lost in the night, then you hear my spirit calling you to partner with me. Your gift is a seed of light planted in the darkness, a flask of healing oil for a broken heart, a river of my presence flowing through this ministry to the ends of the earth. For you, I declare now that the sower and the reaper will rejoice together, and as you give, so it shall be given to you. A good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. This is your divine appointment to release the joy you have just received. I will not only multiply what you sow, but I will command my blessing upon your own storehouses. Do not delay this sacred impulse. Go now, click the super thanks, join the membership, or use the link below to become a conduit of my hope to the nations. My child, as you hear all these promises of peace, of joy, of a new identity, a question may form in your spirit. How? How can I possibly live this way? It feels impossible. You are right. In your own strength, it is impossible. If this new life depended on your willpower, your discipline, or your own goodness, you would fail. But I have not left you as an orphan to fend for yourself. I have given you the greatest gift possible, the very key to this transformed life. I have sent you the Helper, my own Holy Spirit, to be with you and in you forever. He is not a distant force or a vague influence. He is a person, your constant companion, your advocate, your comforter, and the one who empowers you to live a truly supernatural life. You are not trying to live this new life for me. You are allowing my Spirit to live this new life through you. He is the source of the change you long for. You cannot produce true love, joy, or peace through sheer effort. These are not things you manufacture. They are the fruit that grows naturally from His presence within you. When you feel bitterness or anger, it is His love that flows through you to forgive. When circumstances are bleak, it is His joy that bubbles up from a source deeper than your situation. When chaos rages around you, it is His peace that garrisons your heart. This is how it works. You stop striving, and you start abiding. You remain connected to me, and my Spirit produces His fruit in your life. He also helps you in your weakness. There are times when your heart is so heavy you do not even know what to pray. In those moments, when your own words fail, He intercedes for you. He takes the deep groanings of your heart, the sighs that are too deep for words, and He translates them into a perfect prayer before my throne. You are never praying alone, and you must understand the nature of His power. This is not a small, light, contained power. The Bible says that the very same power that raised Christ from the dead now lives in you. Stop and think about that. The power that conquered the grave, that rolled away the stone, that defeated death, hell, and sin itself, that explosive, dynamic, resurrecting power has taken up residence inside of you. It is a power that can break the chains of addiction. It is a power that can heal broken relationships. It is a power that can bring life to dead places in your soul. Stop living as if you are powerless. You are not. You are a temple of the living God, and the mightiest force in the universe dwells within you. Learn to lean on Him, to listen to Him, to depend on His power and not your own. He is the secret. He is the how. He is my presence and my power, living and breathing within you every moment of every day. My beloved, because my powerful Spirit dwells in you, your position in this world has been fundamentally changed. You are not a powerless victim of circumstance, tossed about by the whims of fate or the schemes of the enemy. You must see yourself as I see you, a royal child of the King, walking with divine authority. This is not arrogance. It is the humble acceptance of the astonishing gift I have given you. I have given you authority to trample on serpents and scorpions, and over all the power of the enemy. These are not just ancient words. They are your current spiritual reality. The plans of the enemy, the traps he lays for you, The lies he whispers, you have been given the authority to render them powerless under your feet. You are not meant to be on the defensive, constantly cowering in fear of attack. You are meant to walk in victory. The key to this authority is the name of my Son, Jesus. His name is the name above all names. It is the name that heaven recognizes, earth bows to, and hell trembles before. And I have given you the right, the sacred privilege, to use that name. It is not a magic charm, but your legal access to the resources and authority of heaven. When you pray in His name, you are not praying in your own merit, but in His. When you speak to the mountain of fear in His name, it must move. When you bring comfort and healing to another in His name, you are releasing the power of heaven into their situation. Your spiritual position has been elevated. You are seated with Christ in heavenly places. Picture that. You are not operating from a position of struggle on earth, looking up and hoping for help. You are operating from a position of victory in heaven, looking down on the very challenges that are trying to intimidate you. You are far above all rule and authority and power and dominion that would ever set itself against you. This means you must shift your mindset from that of a victim to that of a victor. A victim looks at a trial and asks, "Why is this happening to me?" A victor, operating in my authority, looks at the same trial and declares, "This thing will not defeat me. My God will get glory through this." This authority is not for selfish gain or for controlling others. It is for advancing my kingdom. It is for setting captives free, for healing the brokenhearted, for proclaiming the good news. I have entrusted you with the ministry of reconciliation. You are my authorized agent on this earth. So, go forth in boldness. Do not beg for a victory that has already been won and given to you. Walk in it. Enforce it. When you speak my word in faith, you are not just speaking your own opinion. You are releasing the creative, authoritative power of the King of the universe. Step into the authority you carry. It is real. It is yours, and it will change the world around you. My child, do you ever wonder if your life truly matters? In the cycle of daily routines, working, eating, sleeping, you can lose sight of the bigger picture and begin to feel that you are just taking up space. You see others with what appears to be a clear, grand purpose, and you question your own significance. Let me speak this truth directly into that place of doubt. You are my workmanship, a masterpiece created in Christ Jesus for good works, which I prepared in advance for you to do. You are not an assembly line product. You are a custom-designed original, my personal work of art. And just as an artist creates a piece for a specific purpose, I have created you with a profound meaning and a unique role in my grand, cosmic plan. There is a divine calling on your life that no one else in history can fulfill. To equip you for this purpose, I have given you a unique blend of talents, passions, and experiences. The things that make your heart come alive, the skills that come naturally to you, the deep compassion you feel for certain people or causes. These are not random. These are clues I have planted within you, pointing you toward your purpose. Even the difficult seasons, the trials and the pain you have endured, are not wasted. I am a master weaver, and I am using every thread of your life, both the bright and the dark, to create the beautiful tapestry of your destiny. Every season is being used to shape you, to prepare you for the good works I have laid out for you. Your ultimate purpose is simple, yet profound, to know me, and to make me known to a world that is desperate for hope and love. This purpose will look different in your life than in anyone else's. For you, it may be raising your children to know my love. It may be bringing integrity and excellence to your workplace. It may be creating art that reflects my beauty, or showing compassion to a neighbor who is hurting. Do not despise the seemingly small assignments. Every act of love, every word of truth, every moment of service done in my name is eternally significant. You carry the most important message in the universe, the good news of salvation. Your very life is a living letter, known and read by everyone around you, telling the story of my goodness and grace. So, stop comparing your journey to others. Embrace the unique design I have given you. Your life has immense purpose. You are a vital part of my redemptive work on this earth. Walk forward with the quiet confidence of knowing you were made for this. You were born for such a time as this. You now understand your divine purpose and the authority you carry. But my heart aches at the thought of you walking into this calling unprepared for the spiritual reality of your journey. Do not grieve your king by leaving this conversation incomplete. Stay, and let me arm you for the battle and teach you how to speak with me in a way that shakes foundations. Let's be honest about this struggle. Even as my beloved child, filled with my spirit and walking in my purpose, you still face the battle against sin and temptation. There are moments you feel pulled back toward old habits, moments when a selfish thought, a sharp word, or a wrong desire takes you by surprise. In the aftermath of these stumbles, the enemy rushes in to condemn you, whispering that you are a failure, that you will never change, that you are a hypocrite. He wants you to live in a cycle of sin, guilt, and shame. But I am here to tell you that this cycle has been broken. Sin shall not have dominion over you, for you are not under law, but under grace. The power of sin to rule your life was shattered at the cross. You are no longer its slave. You have been set free. This freedom does not mean you will never be tempted. Temptation itself is not a sin. My own son was tempted in every way, yet was without sin. Because he faced it, he understands your struggle and is able to help you. And here is my promise to you. No temptation has overtaken you that is not common to man. You are not facing some unique, insurmountable force. And in the midst of that common temptation, I am faithful. I will not let you be tempted beyond what you are able to bear. And with the temptation, I will always, without fail, provide a way of escape, so that you may be able to endure it. There is always a way out. The enemy wants you to believe you are trapped, that you have no choice but to give in. That is a lie. I always provide an escape route. Your job is to look for it and take it. You are more than a conqueror through him who loved you. You are not just barely surviving this battle. You are destined for overwhelming victory. So how do you walk in this victory? First, you draw near to me. When you draw near to me, I will draw near to you. Closeness to me is your greatest defense. Second, you resist the devil. You don't argue with him or entertain his suggestions. You stand firm on my truth and, as my word promises, he will flee from you. He is a defeated foe, and he must flee from the authority of a child of God who knows who they are. You now have the power, through my Spirit, to choose righteousness. When temptation comes, you are no longer a helpless slave who must obey. You are a free child of God who can choose obedience to me. Do not be discouraged by the battle. It is real, but so is your victory. Every time you choose my way over temptation, you are enforcing the victory that was won for you at the cross and growing stronger in your faith. The war has already been won. Now, walk as the conqueror you are. My child, let me talk about prayer. I know what this word can bring to mind. For you, perhaps it has felt like a religious duty, a formal speech, or a frustrating exercise in speaking to a silent ceiling. You may approach me with hesitation, feeling you must clean yourself up first or get your words just right, as if you were an unwelcome visitor bothering a busy and distant king. You feel your requests are too small or your failures are too big. You wonder if I am even listening. I want to shatter that image for you today. When my son breathed his last on the cross, the veil in the temple, a thick, heavy curtain that separated a holy God from humanity, was torn in two, from top to bottom. This was not a small rip. It was a divine declaration from heaven to earth that the barrier is gone. There is nothing, no sin, no feeling of unworthiness, no religious protocol, standing between you and me any longer. You have direct, unimpeded, 24/7 access to my very presence. This access was purchased for you at the highest possible price, and I long for you to use it. My word invites you to approach my throne of grace with confidence. Please hear those words. It is not a throne of judgment for you, my child. It is not a throne of condemnation or accusation. It is a throne of grace. It is the one place in the universe where you are guaranteed to find mercy for your past failures and to receive grace to help you in your present time of need. It is the family room of the King, and your chair is always waiting. I delight in hearing from you. Your prayers, even the ones you stumble through, the ones whispered through tears, rise to me like a sweet and pleasing aroma. I am not a distracted, multitasking God. When you speak, I incline my ear to you. I give you my full, undivided attention. Nothing is more important to me in that moment than the sound of your voice. The earnest, heartfelt prayer of a righteous person, and that is who you are now, clothed in the righteousness of my Son, has great power and produces wonderful results. Your prayers change things. I move my hand. I release my power into your circumstances. So, I invite you now, with all the love in my heart, ask, and it will be given to you. Seek, and you will find. Knock, and the door to my throne room, the door to my very heart, will be open to you. Do not hold back. Do not hesitate. Come boldly and confidently. Your Father is leaning in, waiting, and wanting to hear from you. My child, just as it is vital for you to speak to me in prayer, it is essential that you learn to hear from me. Our relationship is a two-way conversation. I have not left you in silence, trying to guess my will or my character. I have given you a profound gift, my word. The world around you is constantly shifting. Opinions change, cultures evolve, and the news of today becomes the history of tomorrow. But I want to give you an anchor in the midst of this chaotic sea. My word is that anchor. Heaven and earth will pass away, but my words will never pass away. They are your one true, unchangeable source of truth in a world of confusion. You must stop seeing the Bible as merely a collection of ancient stories or a book of rigid rules. It is so much more than that. My word is alive and active. When you open its pages, something supernatural happens. As you read it, it begins to read you. It is sharper than any two-edged sword, and it has the unique ability to penetrate the deepest parts of your being, to discern the thoughts and intentions of your heart, bringing clarity, healing, conviction, and direction. You would not try to survive physically by eating one large meal a week. Your body needs daily nourishment. In the same way, your spirit cannot survive on the spiritual meal you had last Sunday. Man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds from my mouth. My word is your daily bread. It is the essential sustenance your soul needs to be strong and healthy. When you meditate on it, you become like a tree planted by rivers of water. You are connected to a constant, life-giving source. Your leaves do not wither under the heat of life's pressures, and you bear fruit in your season. Neglecting my word is like uprooting that tree and expecting it to thrive. It simply will not work. Everything you need to live a life that is pleasing to me is found within its pages. It holds all the promises you need to overcome fear, the wisdom to navigate complex decisions, and the encouragement to persevere through trials. It is the incorruptible seed by which you were born again, and it is the divine blueprint by which you build this new life. So, I invite you today to open it. Do not be intimidated by. Ask my Spirit, the author, to be your personal teacher. Come to it with a hungry and humble heart, expecting an encounter with me. I am waiting to speak to you, to guide you, to strengthen you, and to transform you through my living word. My beloved, I have designed you for connection. Your faith, while deeply personal, was never meant to be private or lived in isolation. I know that your experiences with my people, the church, may not have always been what I intended. You may have been hurt, felt judged, or been disappointed by the very people who were supposed to show you my love. For those wounds my own heart aches. But please do not let the brokenness of my people cause you to reject my perfect design for you. My design for you is a family. You were not created to be a lone warrior on the battlefield. You were created to be a soldier in an army. You were not designed to be an orphan. You were adopted into a massive, global, eternal family. I have placed you within a community of faith for your protection, your growth, and your strength. You need them, and they desperately need you. I want you to see the church as my son sees it, as his own body on earth. You are a vital and irreplaceable part of that body. Perhaps you are a hand, designed to serve and to build. Perhaps you are an eye, with the gift of seeing things with clarity and vision. Perhaps you are a heart, with a great capacity for compassion and love. A hand cannot say to an eye, I do not need you. For a body to be healthy and effective, every single part must be connected and working together. In isolation, your spiritual gifts are limited. But when you connect with the body, your gifts are multiplied, and you benefit from the gifts of others. This is the place where you learn to love as I love. It is easy to love in theory, but it is in the messy, beautiful reality of community that you learn to forgive, to be patient, to show kindness, and to bear with one another's faults. This is where your character is forged and sharpened, like iron sharpening iron. The process is not always smooth. It can create sparks, but it makes you more effective, more resilient, and more like me. In this fellowship, you will find a strength you cannot find on your own. There is encouragement when you are ready to give up. There is a shared burden when yours is too heavy to carry alone. There is accountability to keep you from drifting off course. I have also made a special promise. Where 2 or 3 are gathered in my name, I am there in their midst in a uniquely powerful way. There is a corporate strength in unified prayer and a beauty in shared worship that reflects the very community of heaven. The ultimate testimony to a watching, broken world is not your individual perfection, but your collective love for one another. By this, all people will know that you are my disciples. So, I urge you, my child, take the risk. Ask me to lead you to a family of believers where you can be planted and grow. Do not just attend. Engage. Be the one who serves, who encourages, who loves. Your faith was meant to flourish in the rich soil of community. My child, I have called you to a life of peace, but you must understand that you are living in a world that is a spiritual battleground. I have not left you defenseless or told you to fight in your own strength. That would be a call to certain defeat. Instead, I have forged for you a perfect, complete set of spiritual armor, and I command you to put it on, so that you can stand firm against all the strategies and schemes of the devil. This is not a metaphor for trying harder. It is a divine provision for your protection and victory. Your struggle is not against flesh and blood. the people who may frustrate or hurt you, but against the spiritual forces of evil that operate in the darkness. To fight a spiritual battle, you need spiritual weapons, and I have provided everything you need. First, you must fasten the belt of truth around your waist. The enemy's primary weapon is lies. He lies about who I am. He lies about who you are. And he lies about your circumstances. The belt of truth holds everything else together. It is your commitment to live in the reality of my word, rejecting the enemy's deceptions. Next, put on the breastplate of righteousness. This protects your heart, your emotions, your will, your inner self. This is not your own righteousness, which is imperfect. This is the righteousness of Christ that I have given to you as a gift. When the enemy accuses you of your past sins and failures, you stand protected, not by your own record, but by his. For your feet, put on the shoes of the gospel of peace. This gives you stability and readiness. It means you stand firm in the good news that you are at peace with me, ready to walk where I lead you, and to carry that message of peace into a world of conflict. In addition to these, you must take up the shield of faith. This is your active defense. The enemy will shoot flaming arrows at you, fiery darts of doubt, fear, temptation, and despair. Your faith in me and my promises is the shield that can extinguish every single one of them. Faith is not a blind hope. It is a confident trust in my character and my word that deflects the attack. Then, place the helmet of salvation on your head. This protects your mind. The enemy wants to assault your thoughts, to fill you with anxiety and hopelessness. The helmet is the constant assurance that you are saved, you are secure, you belong to me, and your eternal destiny is sealed. Your mind is protected by this glorious truth. Finally, take up the sword of the Spirit, which is my word. This is your only offensive weapon. When my son was tempted in the wilderness, he did not argue with the devil. He wielded the sword of the Spirit, declaring, "It is written." You must do the same. When a lie comes to your mind, you counter it with the truth of my word. This is how you stand firm. This is how you fight. The armor is ready. It had been perfectly crafted for you. Put it on, piece by piece, every single day, and stand your ground, knowing that the battle ultimately belongs to me. Now you are armed for the journey, my warrior. But I have saved the most glorious truths for this final stretch. My entire heart longs for you to fully grasp the eternal home that awaits you, and the unshakable hope of your resurrection. To turn away now is to see the battle plan, but miss the victory parade. Do not deny my heart the joy of revealing your glorious end to you. My beloved, as you journey through this life, with all its joys and its deep sorrows, you must never forget that you are a pilgrim. This world, as beautiful as it can be, is not your final destination. You are a citizen of a heavenly kingdom, and you are traveling toward your true and forever home. I see that your heart gets troubled. You look at the brokenness of the world. You feel the pain of your own struggles. You experience the grief of saying goodbye to those you love, and you begin to lose hope. So listen to the words my son spoke to his disciples on a night when their hearts were also filled with fear. Do not let your hearts be troubled. You believe in God. Believe also in me. My Father's house has many rooms. If that were not so, would I have told you that I am going there to prepare a place for you? This is not a myth or a fairy tale. It is the most solid promise you can hold on to. I am, at this very moment, preparing a place specifically for you. In my house, in my very presence, there is a room with your name on it. It is being custom designed for you with a love that knows every detail of your heart. And the promise continues, and if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come back and take you to be with me, that where I am, you may be also. One day, this journey will be over. I will return, or I will call you home, and we will be together forever. This hope is not a form of escapism. It is the fuel that allows you to live bravely and purposefully in the present. Your current struggles, the sickness, the financial pressure, the relational pain, can feel all-consuming. But I want you to see them from an eternal perspective. They are, as my apostle Paul wrote, temporary and light in comparison to the eternal glory that is being prepared for you. This present pain is not the final chapter of your story. What I have prepared for you is beyond your wildest imagination. Eye has not seen, nor ear has heard, nor has it even entered into the heart of man, the things which I have prepared for those who love me. Everything you have ever longed for, perfect peace, unending joy, complete wholeness, relationships free from all pain and misunderstanding, all of this and more awaits you. On that day, I will wipe every tear from your eyes. There will be no more death or mourning or crying or pain, for the old order of things will have passed away. This is the sure and steadfast anchor for your soul. When the storms of this life rage, hold on to this anchor. You are a pilgrim journeying home, and a glorious welcome awaits you. Live today in light of that eternal reality. My child, in a world that is obsessed with success, with making a name for yourself, with leaving a legacy, I want to talk to you about the greatest honor you will ever have. It is a status that outshines any earthly accomplishment and a security that no worldly power can touch. I remember when my disciples returned, filled with joy because they had authority over spiritual darkness. My son told them not to rejoice in that power, but to rejoice in something far greater, that their names were written in heaven. I am saying the same to you today. Your greatest victory is not the promotion you receive at work. Your most significant achievement is not the family you raise or the reputation you build. Your ultimate, unshakable, and eternal cause for rejoicing is this: your name is written in the Lamb's Book of Life. This is the good news that underpins all other good news. I want you to understand the permanence of this. Your name is not written in a planner in pencil, subject to being erased if you make a mistake. It is an eternal inscription, etched into the records of heaven with the indelible ink of the precious blood of my Son. This book is not a record of your good deeds or a log of your perfect attendance at religious services. If it were, no one's name would remain. This book is a testament to your adoption into my family. It is the official, sealed registry of my grace. It records not your righteousness, but the righteousness I have given to you as a free gift. It is my declaration, over all the accusations of the enemy and all the doubts of your own heart, that you belong to me. You are mine, now and forever. This is a settled matter. So, when the enemy whispers to you that you are not good enough, that you have failed one too many times, that you do not belong, you must remind him and yourself of this truth. Your security is not based on your grip on me. It is based on my unbreakable grip on you. I have promised that no one, no power, no person, no demon, no failure, no accusation can snatch you out of my hand. Your citizenship in heaven is secure. Your eternal passport has been stamped and sealed, and it cannot be revoked. Let this truth change the way you live. When you know, deep in your bones, that your eternal destiny is not in question, the fear of man begins to fade. The desperate need for the world's approval starts to lose its power over you. You can live with a holy boldness, a quiet confidence, and a deep, abiding peace, knowing that the most important outcome of your entire existence is already gloriously and permanently guaranteed. This is not just hope, it is your reality. Rejoice in it. My beloved, you now rejoice in the ultimate security. Your name is written in the book of life. If that eternal assurance now stirs a holy desire in you to see another name inscribed in heaven, then you feel my heart inviting you to this sacred work. Every gift you give becomes a lifeline of my truth, manna in the wilderness for a starving soul, and a powerful act that helps carry my voice to the one I am calling home. And I declare over you the promise I give to those who turn many to righteousness. You will shine like the stars forever and ever. As you sow into this eternal harvest, I will rebuke the devourer for your sake and open the windows of heaven over your life. This moment is a profound opportunity to invest in that which will never fade. Act now on this eternal purpose. Click Super Thanks, become a member, or use the PayPal link to fund the greatest rescue mission in history. My precious child, we must speak of the last enemy, the one that casts a long shadow over every human life, death. The world is terrified of it. It is the great unknown, the final, painful separation. But for you, my beloved, everything has changed. The entire narrative hath been rewritten. I want you to hear this as a victory cry echoing from the empty tomb into your heart today. Death has been swallowed up in victory. Where, O death, is your victory? Where, O death, is your sting? The power of death came through sin, but I have given you the victory through my Son, Jesus Christ. His resurrection was not just a historical event for him. It was the definitive victory for you. He did not just survive the grave. He defeated it, disarmed it, and stripped it of its power over you. Its sting has been removed. It is now a defeated foe. Because he lives, you also will live. This is not just a promise of a spiritual afterlife. It is a promise of your own bodily resurrection. This mortal body you live in, with its weaknesses, its pains, and its eventual decay, is not the end of the story. One day, at the sound of the trumpet, it will be raised imperishable. It will be transformed in a moment into a new and glorious body, one that will never get sick, never grow old, and never die. Think of your body as a seed. When you plant a seed in the ground, it does not look like much. It is buried in darkness and seems to die. But from that buried seed comes forth a new, beautiful, and glorious plant. So it will be for you. Your body may be laid to rest in the earth, but it will be raised in glory and power. You must stop seeing the grave as a final destination. It is not. It is merely a doorway into my immediate presence. For my children, to be absent from the body is to be present with me. The moment your journey on this earth is complete, your true self, your spirit and soul, will be with me, more alive and more aware than you have ever been. This resurrection hope is a sure and steadfast anchor for your soul. In the storms of life, when you are faced with your own mortality or when you grieve the loss of someone you love, this anchor will hold you fast. The grave is not a period at the end of the sentence. It is merely a comma in the beautiful story I am writing. I am the resurrection and the life. The one who believes in me, even though they die, will live. And whoever lives and believes in me will never truly die. This is the foundational hope of your faith. Let this truth penetrate every fear you have about death. Let it bring you profound comfort in your grief. The last enemy has been defeated, and your future is one of eternal, vibrant, and glorious life with me. My dear child, now that you have the assurance of your eternal home and the victory over death, do not make the mistake of thinking that how you live your life now does not matter. The exact opposite is true. Because your salvation is a free gift and your eternal destiny is secure, your service to me can now be what it was always meant to be: a pure, joyful offering of love, not a desperate attempt to earn my favor. And I want you to know, with deep certainty, that your labor in me is never in vain. I am not an unobservant or forgetful God. I see everything. I see the quiet moments of integrity when no one is watching. I see the patient word you give to a difficult person. I see the prayer you whisper for a stranger. I see the sacrifice you make with your time and your money. I see every act of love, every seed of kindness, every moment of faithful service, no matter how small or unseen by the world it may be. Nothing is wasted. It is all recorded, and it all has eternal significance. I am a righteous judge, but I am also an incredibly generous father who delights in rewarding his children. My word speaks of crowns that await you, a crown of righteousness for those who have loved my appearing, a crown of life for those who have persevered under trial, a crown of glory for those who have faithfully cared for my people. These are not mere symbols. They are real honors that I will place upon your head myself. Even the smallest act of faithfulness will be rewarded. A simple cup of cold water given to someone in need, when done in my name and for my sake, will not lose its reward. I am asking you to live with an eternal perspective. Store up for yourselves treasures in heaven. You store up treasure not by accumulating wealth on earth, but by investing in eternity. An act of radical forgiveness, a generous and cheerful gift to those in need, a moment spent encouraging a struggling soul, the choice to speak truth in a compromised situation. These are deposits into your heavenly account, where moth and rust cannot destroy, and thieves cannot break in and steal. The most profound reward, however, will not be the crowns or the treasures. It will be the moment you stand before me, face to face, and you see the joy in my eyes as I speak the words your soul has longed to hear. Well done, good and faithful servant. You were faithful with a few things. I will now put you in charge of many things. Enter into the joy of your master. Let this promise fuel you when you feel weary in doing good. Let it encourage you when your service feels unappreciated or fruitless. Your life here is short, but what you do here echoes in eternity. You are not just living for today. You are building for forever. Live a life worthy of the calling you have received, and know that a glorious reward from your loving Father awaits you. Look around at the world. I know you see the brokenness. You see the injustice, the sickness, the pain, the decay. You see it in the news headlines. You see it in your community, and you feel it in the deep aches of your own heart. Creation itself groans, as if in the pains of childbirth, waiting for what is to come. And you, who have my spirit, groan inwardly as well. This is because you were made for a perfect world, and you are living in a fallen one. The story of this world does not end in this state of tragedy and decay. The good news is not just about your personal salvation. It is about the complete restoration of my entire creation. The final chapter has not yet been written. I'm making everything new. There will come a day when I will create a new heaven and the new earth, a place where righteousness dwells. This is not a renovation of the old, broken system. It is a complete and glorious recreation. The former things, the pain, the sorrow, the memory of sin and suffering, will not be remembered or even come to mind. Creation itself, which is now in bondage to decay, will be liberated into the glorious freedom of the children of God. Every broken system, every act of injustice, every consequence of sin that has marred my beautiful world will be healed and made right. My perfect design, which was there in the beginning, will be fully and finally restored. On that day, I will dwell with you myself. You will be my people, and I will be your God, and I will wipe every tear from your eyes. Think of that, my beloved. Every tear you have ever shed, tears of grief, tears of frustration, tears of pain, tears of loneliness, I will personally wipe them away. There will be no more death or mourning or crying or pain. The curses that plague this fallen world, sickness, sorrow, decay, and death itself, will be no more. All the unanswered questions you have carried throughout your life, all the deep hurts and traumas that have shaped you, will find their perfect and satisfying resolution in my presence. You will experience joy in its purest, most undiluted form. Your eternal state will be one of unending peace, perfect fellowship, and glorious purpose. This is the grand finale of the story. It does not end in a hospital bed or a graveyard. It ends in a restored creation, a perfect world, where I dwell with my children forever. This is the hope you carry. Let it give you strength for the journey. The wonders of your eternal home are now unfolding in your spirit. It would be a profound sorrow to me if you departed before understanding the very foundation upon which all these promises are built, my unchanging faithfulness. The final, most crucial truths are upon my lips. Stay with me until the very end, and let me seal this entire conversation upon your heart with my unbreakable covenant of love. My precious one, this glorious future, this restoration of all things, is not a distant, abstract dream. It is a coming reality, and it will be ushered in by a single, climactic event, my return. I will come again. The first time I came as a humble, suffering servant, a lamb led to the slaughter to pay for the sins of the world. But when I come again, it will not be in humility, but in glory. It will not be as a lamb, but as the conquering king, the Lion of the tribe of Judah. I will come with the clouds, and every eye will see me. This is the blessed hope that should define the way you live each day. You do not know the day or the hour of my return, and so you should live in a state of hopeful and holy expectation. When Christ, who is your life, appears, then you also will appear with him in glory. This is the moment of your ultimate transformation, your glorification. The trumpet will sound, the dead in Christ will be raised first, and then you who are still alive will be caught up together with them in the clouds to meet me in the air. In that moment, in the twinkling of an eye, your full redemption will be realized. The new, resurrected body I promised you will be yours. The last vestiges of your old sinful nature will be gone forever. You will be made perfectly like my Son. You will see me face to face, and you will know me fully, even as you are fully known by me. This hope of my imminent return is meant to be a purifying force in your life. When you live with the awareness that I could return at any moment, it changes your priorities. The fleeting pleasures of this world and its temporary treasures lose their appeal. Your focus shifts to what is eternal. It encourages you to live a life that is holy and pleasing to me, to share my message of love with urgency, and to hold loosely to the things of this earth. Your full redemption draws nearer with every passing day. With every sunrise you are one day closer to seeing me face to face. So, you not live as if this world is all there is. Live as a citizen of heaven, eagerly awaiting your King. Be ready, be watchful, and be filled with an unshakable joy, for the day of your complete and total glorification is coming soon. I do not make light of your suffering. The pain you feel in this present moment is real. The ache in your body is real. The sorrow that weighs on your heart is real, and I see every tear it produces. I am not asking you to pretend it doesn't hurt, but I am asking you to see it from an eternal perspective, to weigh it on a divine scale. The suffering of this present time, as heavy and all-consuming as it feels right now, is not worthy to be compared with the glory that is about to be revealed in you. The season of pain is temporary. The season of glory is eternal. This is not just wishful thinking. It is the trajectory of the story I am writing for you. Think of the things in this fallen world that are the source of your deepest pain, the curses of sickness, decay, aging, misunderstanding, betrayal, injustice, and the finality of death. I want you to imagine a reality where these things have no power, no presence, not even a memory. This is the future I have secured for you. In the new heaven and the new earth, the very sources of your tears will have ceased to exist. Imagine a world with no hospitals, for there will be no more sickness. Imagine a world with no cemeteries, for there will be no more death. Imagine a world with no more locks on the doors, for there will be no more fear or violence. Imagine a world with no more agonizing goodbyes, for there will be no more separation. This is not a dream. It is your guaranteed destination. On that day, I will dwell with you, and you will see me face to face. And I myself will wipe every tear from your eyes. Picture that, my beloved. Not an angel, not a proxy, but I, your Father, will personally and tenderly wipe away the very last tear you will ever cry. All the unanswered questions that have haunted your life. Why did I have to endure that loss? Why was that path so hard? Why did that person hurt me? All of it will find its perfect and satisfying resolution in the light of my presence. You will see the finished tapestry, and you will understand how every dark thread was necessary to create the masterpiece of your story. You will experience joy in its purest, most undiluted, and most exhilarating form. Here on earth, even your happiest moments are tinged with the subconscious knowledge that they are fleeting. But there, joy will be the very air you breathe, constant, stable, and ever-increasing. Your eternal state will be one of unending peace, perfect fellowship, and breathtaking wonder. This is the certain end of your story. Let this hope be a balm to your present wounds and a light in your current darkness. You have now heard me speak of incredible promises of resurrection, of rewards, of a future free from all pain. And in the quietness of your heart, a cynical thought, born of this world's disappointments, may arise. Is this all too good to be true? How can I be sure these promises will be kept? I understand this doubt. You live in a world of broken contracts and fair weather friends. But you must understand that I am not like that. The foundation upon which every single one of my promises rests is the rock of my unchanging character. My faithfulness is not a recent development or a new aspect of my personality. It is the very essence of who I am, and it hath been proven from age to age. I am the same God who made a covenant with Abraham and kept it. I am the same God who parted the Red Sea for Moses and led my people through the wilderness. I am the same God who shut the mouths of lions for Daniel and stood with his friends in the fiery furnace. I am the same God who spoke the worlds into existence and who held my Son on the cross. My track record is perfect. I am the same yesterday, today, and forever. People are fickle. Their moods change, their priorities shift, their promises are broken by circumstance or by choice. Their love can grow cold. But I do not change. My covenant with you is everlasting, sealed not with ink that can fade, but with the eternal blood of my own Son. It is an unbreakable contract, and even more than that, it is a family promise. And my faithfulness is not dependent on your perfection. My word says that if you are faithless, I remain faithful, for I cannot disown myself. Think of that. My ability to keep my promises to you is not based on your ability to be perfect. It is based on my inability to be anything other than perfectly faithful. Even when you stumble, my commitment to you holds firm. Look back on your own life. Can you not see the evidence of my faithfulness? Can you not trace the moments where I protected you from a danger you did not see, provided for a need you did not know how to meet, or guided you through a confusion you could not solve on your own? I have been faithful to you in your past, even when you were unaware of it. I am faithful to you in this very moment, as you hear these words. and I will be faithful to you for all of your future, into eternity. Therefore, you can build your life on the rock of my dependability. While all other ground is sinking sand, I am your firm foundation. The promises I have made to you in this conversation are not hopeful maybes. They are yes and amen in Christ. You can trust me. My word is my bond. I have never once broken it, and I will not start with you. The world has taught you to chase happiness. It has sold you a counterfeit version of joy, telling you that it is found in getting what you want, in being in control of your own life, in pursuing your own ambitions and your own pleasures. You have tried this, have you not? You have striven to orchestrate your own happiness, believing that if you could just achieve that goal, or acquire that thing, or secure that relationship, then you would finally be content. And this relentless pursuit has left you exhausted, anxious, and often more empty than when you started. The joy the world offers is a fleeting emotion, entirely dependent on your circumstances being pleasant. I am calling you to something far deeper, far richer, and far more stable. I am calling you to the beautiful paradox of a surrendered life. True, lasting joy is not found in fulfilling your own will, but in joyfully surrendering to mine. The world screams at you, hold on tighter, take control, be the master of your fate. But I whisper to your soul, let go, trust me, surrender. This concept of surrender is frightening to the human heart because it feels like loss. But I promise you, it is in losing your life, your own agenda, your desperate need to be in control, your right to understand everything, for my sake, that you will truly find your life for the very first time. A surrendered life is not a life of loss, but of gaining everything that truly matters. It is the relief of taking your hands off the steering wheel in a storm and giving it to the one who created the seas. It is the peace of letting go the heavy burden of being your own God. My word says that in my presence is the fullness of joy, at my right hand are pleasures forevermore. This is the secret. Joy is not a destination you arrive at. It is the atmosphere you live in when you live in my presence. This joy, my joy, is a deep-seated gladness that your circumstances cannot touch. It is a strength that can uphold you in the midst of sorrow because it is not dependent on what is happening around you, but on who is living inside you. My son told his disciples, abide in me, and I in you. I have told you this so that my joy may be in you, and that your joy may be complete. The key to this complete, unshakable joy is abiding, staying connected to me as a branch is to a vine, resting in my love, trusting my plan, and drawing your life from me. Stop the frantic striving to make yourself happy. Surrender your plans, your timeline, your fears, and your future to me. Let me carry the weight of your life. And in that place of quiet trust and surrender, I will fill you with a joy that is deeper, richer, and more satisfying than anything the world could ever offer you. My beloved, you have been left on this earth for a profound reason. You have been entrusted with the most important mission in the universe. You are my ambassador. I have given you the ministry of reconciliation. An ambassador does not speak for themselves or represent their own interests. They are an official, authorized representative of their king in a foreign land. You are a citizen of heaven, and this world is a foreign land. You are here to represent me, your king. Your life is meant to be my hands, my feet, and my voice of love and truth to a lost and broken world. Your life is a living letter, known and read by all people. More than any sermon they will ever hear, people are reading the story of your life. They see how you respond to pressure. They see how you treat the person who serves you at a restaurant. They see how you handle disappointment and success. They are reading you to see if what you say you believe is real. I am not asking you to be perfect, but I am asking you to be an authentic reflection of my character, to be quick to forgive, to be generous with what you have, to show compassion to the hurting, to walk in integrity. Do not hide the light I have placed within you under a basket of fear or apathy. Let it shine before others, so that when they see your good works, they will not glorify you, but they will glorify me, your Father in heaven. You carry the greatest news the world has ever heard, the good news of salvation, that through my Son, anyone can be reconciled to me. This is the message you have been entrusted with. You share it not just with your words, but with your very life. You are my partner in my great redemptive work. When you offer a word of encouragement to someone who is down, you are being my ambassador. When you share what you have with someone in need, you are being my ambassador. When you forgive someone who has wronged you, you are powerfully representing my kingdom. When you explain the hope that is within you to a searching heart, you are fulfilling your highest calling. This is not a burden. It is the greatest privilege. I could have written my message in the stars, but I chose to write it in the hearts of my people. I chose you. So, embrace your role. Walk with the dignity and love of a representative of the King of Kings. Your life has a magnificent purpose, to show the world what I am like. You see the beginning and the end, my ambassador. You understand your mission. It would wound me deeply if you left without fully immersing your soul in the very grace that makes all this possible. Do not leave this holy ground yet. Allow me to speak these final, most intimate words over you. The unbreakable covenant and the ever-present reality of my goodness, which is the bedrock of everything you have just heard. There is a word I want to burn into your heart, a word that is the answer to your past failures, your present struggles, and your future uncertainties. That word is grace. You must understand that my grace is more than just unmerited favor. It is my divine empowerment acting in your life. It is my goodness coming to you when you deserve the opposite. It is my power showing up in your weakness. It is the very foundation of our entire relationship. You did not earn my love by your own merit, and you do not keep it by your own performance. You were saved by grace. You are sustained by grace every moment of every day, and you will be brought home to glory by grace. My grace is a boundless, bottomless ocean, and you can never, ever exhaust its depths. My word declares that where sin increased, my grace abounded all the more. Think of your greatest failure, your deepest shame. My grace is greater still. It is not a limited resource that you can use out. Every time you stumble and turn back to me, you will find that the ocean of my grace is still there, ready to wash you clean, restore your soul, and empower you to get back up and walk again. This is why my apostle Paul, when he pleaded with me to remove a thorn in his flesh, a source of great struggle, heard these words from me: "My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness." My grace was enough for him, and my grace is sufficient for you, right now, in whatever you are facing. It is enough for your financial lack. It is enough for your broken heart. It is enough for your physical pain. It is enough for your exhaustion. It is a present tense reality. Because of this, you can live in a state of profound freedom. You are no longer under the crushing burden of the law, trying to earn my love through a perfect checklist of behaviors. You live under grace. This does not mean you are free to sin. It means you are finally free from sin. You are free from its power and its condemnation. You are free to serve me not out of fear of punishment, but out of a joyful, loving response to the incredible grace you have received. So, stop trying so hard to be worthy of my love. You already are, because I have declared you so. Stop punishing yourself for past mistakes that I have already forgiven and forgotten. Stop living in fear of future failure, knowing that my grace will be there to meet you. Live freely, my child. Live boldly. Live joyfully, not under the heavy burden of trying to earn my love, but in the glorious liberty of having already and always received it through my inexhaustible grace. My beloved, this is one of the most difficult, yet most powerful truths you will ever embrace. I am sovereign over every detail of your life. Nothing comes to you that has not first passed through my loving hands. This includes not just the good and pleasant things, but also the painful, confusing, and difficult things. And here is the promise that holds you steady in the midst of it all. I am working all things together for your good. This promise is not for everyone. It is for those who love me and are called according to my purpose. And that, my child, is you. I am not promising that all things, in and of themselves, are good. Sickness is not good. Betrayal is not good. Loss is not good. But I am a master weaver. I can take even the darkest, ugliest threads of sin and suffering, and I can weave them into the beautiful tapestry of your life in a way that ultimately serves a glorious and good purpose. What the enemy intends for evil, I am able to turn around for your ultimate good and for my glory. Look at the story of Joseph. His brothers sold him into slavery. That was evil. He was falsely accused and thrown into prison. That was injustice. But I was at work through it all, positioning him and preparing him to save an entire nation, including the very family that betrayed him. He was able to look his brothers in the eye and say, "You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good." I am still that same God. That painful breakup, that unexpected job loss, that frightening diagnosis. Do not despair in the midst of these trials. Do not believe the lie that I have abandoned you or that your story has gone off course. I am using these very things to produce in you steadfastness, perseverance, and a character that looks more and more like my son. Your story is safe in my hands. You may only see one confusing page at a time, but I see the whole book, and I can tell you with absolute certainty that I will bring it to a glorious conclusion. You do not need to understand the why behind everything you endure. You simply need to trust the who. You need to trust me, your loving Father, who is infinitely wise and completely in control. When you look back on your life from eternity, you will see with perfect clarity how every single event, every joy and every sorrow, was perfectly woven together to bring you to that glorious place and to make you the person you were always created to be. So, rest in my sovereignty. Release the need to understand everything, and hold fast to this promise. I am at work, right now, in your circumstances, weaving all things together for your good. My child, we have come to the end of our conversation for now, but we have come to the heart of all truth. If you forget everything else you have heard, remember this. This is the final word, the promise that encompasses all other promises, the unbreakable seal on my commitment to you. Though the mountains be shaken and the hills be removed, though the most stable and permanent things you see on this earth crumble to dust, yet my unfailing love for you will not be shaken, and my covenant of peace will not be removed from you. This is my solemn, eternal oath to you. This is not a contract based on your performance. It is a covenant, sealed not with ink on paper, but with the precious blood of my own Son. It is a one-sided promise that depends entirely on my faithfulness, not yours. It is my final declaration over your life. It is the truth that silences every doubt, every fear, and every accusation. You are mine, now and forever. Nothing can change that. Nothing can separate you from my love. Not your failures of yesterday, not your struggles of today, not your uncertainties of tomorrow. Not death, not life, not angels, not demons, not the present, not the future, nor any powers, neither height nor depth, nor anything else in all creation, will be able to separate you from the love of God that is in Christ Jesus your Lord. This is the good news. This is the gospel. So rest in this truth, my beloved child. Let it be the bedrock upon which you build your life. Let it be the anchor that holds you in every storm. Let it be the song your heart sings in the darkest night. My love for you is the most real and enduring thing in the universe. It is finite. You are secure. You are loved. Rest now in me. My child, you now rest in the finality of my unbreakable covenant of love. It is your ultimate and unshakable reality. If your heart is now overflowing with gratitude and a desire to respond to this great love, then I invite you to be the hands that carry this good news to a world that feels abandoned and unloved. Your support at this moment becomes a fire of revival, a well of living water for the thirsty, and the very bread of my presence offered to those who are perishing. For you, I speak this promise directly to your heart now, because you honor me with your substance. Your own barns will be filled to overflowing. I will see this act of worship, and I will release a blessing upon you that you cannot contain. This is not a transaction. It is your first act of worship in response to the covenant you have just received. Go now as a worshiper. Click Super Thanks. Join as a covenant partner through membership, or use the PayPal link below to release the sound of my love into all the earth. My child, this conversation does not end here. It now comes alive within you. Let the world and all of heaven bear witness to the change that has taken root in your heart this very day. Go now to the space below and seal this moment with a declaration of faith. With the authority I have placed in your spirit, write these words for all to see. I have opened my good news, and my new life begins now. Let this be your public stone of remembrance, a powerful testament that you have heard my voice. Every declaration is an echo of victory, affirming that you are ready to receive all that I have promised. Amen. If you believe in me, your Heavenly Father, then like this video and leave a heartfelt amen in the comments. If you want to stay closer to me, then subscribe to this channel.